tonight for a shadows creep. Grab your popcorn, don't fall asleep. The doors are open, let the nightmares play. You won't make it out today. Welcome to Night Score. The doors have reopened.
Sit down, children. Sit down, class. It's time for some specialty. Everyone, sit down, please. Hurry.
Everyone. I'm alone here. I count for like 5 people, body-wise, but where is everybody?
Wow, we really do have an empty class today. Oh man, sometimes the trains, the traffics can fuck you up. So, it is what it is. Class starts at a certain time, and we got to start our class. So, let's get into this. I am going to go down and take attendance, but before I do so, hello everybody. My name is Tommy James, aka Mr. Oh So Smooth, aka the Smooth Effect himself. The movie God Baby is here, and I am very excited to talk about what we are going to discuss today. But I'll get into that in a minute. And let's go to attendance. It's pretty straightforward and simple. I got none other than the Grand Wizard of Horror, Big Money Eddie. What's going on, guy?
Hey-o, everybody. Big Money Eddie, the Grand Wizard of Horror, and the cigarette smoking man himself. I am excited to talk about this movie. I watched it. I am excited for what it means for our show. I am excited that we're one of the first to be doing this. So I'm just really excited to be here. I'm alone, but in the class, but I've always been a nerd. So I'm used to being the one kid who always showed up to school when nobody was there. It's fine.
Yeah. It's okay, though, because Big Money, you are here right now for something very special, because you weren't on that episode, but we, about a year ago almost, had an episode, or a screener, as we would like to say, for the movie Late Night with the Devil. And it was a phenomenal movie. Absolutely amazing. Loved it so much.
Very good movie.
Yes. Oh, it was so good. And I want to shout out to Strike Media about that, giving us that opportunity, because it really helped. We had a phenomenal episode. It boosted us up where we were charted, we were number 1 in certain countries, and it was great. It was so cool just to be able to have that opportunity. Well, me, Big Money, currently at least, have that opportunity again. Because Strike Media contacted us and they said, hey guys, we got a screener for you. And
yay,
we said, let's go. Tonight, we are discussing The Ugly Stepsister. Oh boy, Big Money, The Ugly Stepsister, the grim Cinderella story, right?
Yes.
It says here,
yes.
Bridgerton meets The Substance. It's somewhat. Yes, I could say yes and somewhat. It really fits, and I just put it out there because this is really exciting. This is from, just like Late Night with the Devil, this is from Vertigo releasing in association with Shudder and IFC Films. Oh, it is a Norwegian body horror movie. Again, The Ugly Stepsister, which the film will be hitting, in the U.S. at least, hitting U.S. cinemas on April 18th. And in the UK.
Yeah, it's been released otherwise, but yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
And in the UK, it will be released on the 25th of April. So, it's coming. It's coming out very, very soon. and we're going to talk about it because we've seen the movie. We've watched the movie, and excitement runs wild. Now, let's get into a couple little breakdown, then we'll talk about this movie. So this movie is written, I'm going to fuck this up, but it is written and directed by Emil Blechfeld. How would you say it, Big Money? Emily? Well, maybe Emily? Emily.
It's Emily. It's Emily. It's Emily. I'm trying to pronounce Blichfeld.
Blichfeld. This is her directorial debut in a feature-length film. So that's pretty great. That's pretty awesome. It introduces
what a debut, to be really fair.
What a debut indeed. This also introduces Leah Marin, and it stars Thea Sophia Loch Ness, which is fucking hilarious because she might indeed need about tree fitting. She might need about tree fitting.
Yeah.
I said when her name popped up, I said, Loch Ness? That says Loch Ness, like the Loch Ness monster, and it's Norwegian? That's funny. That's fucking funny.
Oh yeah, no. Honestly, the when I saw the name, I went like Loch Ness. Loch Ness. Go figure that she eventually does see a Loch Ness monster in this film. We'll
there's a couple of Loch Ness monsters in this film because I know what you're talking about. So this is pretty much the gruesome, dark story of Cinderella. It's dark, it's gruesome, it's an adaptation of the classic story. Big Money, I know you actually have read the grim Cinderella story.
Yeah. So one of the things that a lot of people don't know is that the Cinderella story, the fairy tale itself, has been showing up throughout cultures, especially in Europe and in Asia and in I think there's even one in Egypt, so even in Africa. The thing is, the most famous versions of the fairy tale are the Grimm version and the Perrault version. Now, the Perrault version has the more magical, happy ending sort of scenario, but it's the Grimm version who, all pun intended, is more grim.
True.
There's a lot more hardcore, bloody things going on in that story, and this film does it really well. When people say Bridgerton meets what was it? Bridgerton meets The Substance. I would say it's fair. I would say it's fair, but I would also add that it's fairy tale. It's still a fairy tale movie. And it's hard to pull off because you of the genre that you're dealing with, right? Mm. But I think that the director Emily and the writing staff and everybody, what they did with this movie, they took what the Grimms did and they try to mesh genres together: a little bit of comedy, a little bit of drama, a little bit of body horror, not a little bit, a lot of body horror, but also they sprinkled in the fairy tale elements correctly. I thought it was just going to be very real life version of Cinderella, and then the fairy tale elements hit, and I went like, okay, let's go. This movie has balls to do this adaptation correctly. So I really like the film.
Good. And I appreciate you saying that because when I heard that it was the Grimm mixed with the other one too, because that's really what it is. They blended both together. And
yeah.
And I was excited because I know some of, I never read it, but I know that there is some gruesome shit that goes down in that story. One being the toes, or if it was a toe or whatever. But I knew about that. That I knew about. So now I have an opportunity, or we all had an opportunity to watch it. And this movie was in the Sundance Film Festival, and it's got reviews 98% on Rotten Tomatoes, which was the same exactly as Late Night with the Devil. It's got a 3.7 on Letterboxd, an 8 out of 10 on IMDb. Like, this movie is being talked about. Now, here's the one thing: it's not in English; it is in Norwegian. And
but it has subtitles, so you don't have to learn You don't have to learn Norwegian
No, you don't have to learn
to watch
Norwegian.
this movie.
That's
there are
very true.
subtitles. You just need to learn how to read.
Yes, hopefully you can read, but sometimes in this film you definitely need to read, and some scenes you don't need to read because this movie's pretty graphic. Now here's the thing though, and I'm going to put it out there real quick. I thought it was going to be more gruesome than it truly was. I would say it's still gruesome, but it's not. I've seen worse. I will always put it that way. I have seen way more gruesome, and I appreciate that it wasn't that gruesome because sometimes it's not about the blood. It's not about let's disembody somebody. Let's fucking just break shit everywhere. One thing that I will say is there's a lot of butts, a lot of booty.
Yes.
And like you said, a lot of Loch Ness monsters pop up. Like right in the camera too. Like in the camera. You're like, what is that? Yeah. I know what that is. Oh my God. It's close to porn, but it's not porn, but it's pretty much happening. We got to see Cinderella on a different phase, in a different light as well.
Oh yeah. I saw, let me tell you, first off, I'm going to tell you that Cinderella is hot. Like she is
beautiful
gorgeous, and also a great actress.
Yes,
she is beautiful. And I went like, well, this lady is beautiful. It's R-rated. Am I going to see her naked? And boy, do we do.
Indeed, we do. We see it all.
I have seen Cinderella's brown and pink eye. So
yes, we saw it. We did see Cinderella's brown eye girl. It was Van Morrison all over again. Hilarious though. I know when that scene happened, and again, we'll break this down. We're just discussing little quick things real fast. But oh man, when that scene occurred, I was like, "Is that?" And then the Loch Ness monster showed up. I went, "Is that?" And then it happened, and I go, "It is." Oh wow, hilarious. So fucking funny. And here's what's weird too is that while this was occurring, the stepsister Elvira who is our main character is there watching. Cinderella turns around and is like, oh shit, but continue. She keeps going. She doesn't care. She's like, I'm getting pounded for fucking, and the sister's just watching, and I'm so funny, yet a little uncomfortable.
And then the horse started watching. Let's keep going.
The horse was watching too. All right, you know what? But we got into we'll get back to it because we're gonna break this movie down. Now here's that shit was bad funny. I didn't expect it. I should have expected it from a Norwegian film. But okay, so this movie straight up starts off right off the bat with the two stepsisters and the stepmother showing up at the castle to meet Cinderella. At that point, her name is Agnes. It is not Cinderella.
Agnes, yes.
It is Agnes and the father. And I actually really enjoyed the way it started too, because we're getting right into it. They're not fucking giving us this whole little bullshit story. She has like the whole little dream sequence that she does. She's reading these poems, these stories about Prince Julian, which, he likes to move it, as we know. And, and then they're at the dinner table. They're just, they're having a good time. They're talking. They're enjoying it. He's throwing cake at people, which got me rolling because I was like, what the fuck? Like,
what the fuck is this dude? Why is he so angry?
Bro, why are you throwing cake at people? He didn't just like silly do it. Like, he chucked it at her face. Like, you ugly bitch. Bam! Smacks in the face with fucking cake. And she just took it. She's just like, oh, why'd you do that for? And then, unfortunately, the dad, he gets a heart attack.
I want to assume that the action of throwing the cake was like out of character and just like part of his stroke. We just didn't realize it. Because you just see him just like, he just like chucks it and he just like, yeah,
that was
just
really
dies
good.
And you're just going like, what is wrong with you, dude?
What's crazy is that like once he catches the stroke or the heart attack or whatever it was, they don't actually specify what it is at that point. but it's
Yeah.
he drops dead, and then the credits roll. Just boop, there go the credits,
Yes.
and you're like, oh, okay, so this is happening right now. Okie dokie, no
You,
doubt.
so I'm sorry, I'm interrupting Tommy, but something about not just the credits, but how the movie started reminded me of 60s and 70s Hammer films, the Hammer B horror films.
Okay,
Some of the Dracula ones, yeah, but it's in terms of the lighting, in terms of how the camera moved, even how the cinematography looked. And I don't know if it was on purpose from the cinematographer, but as I was watching it, I went like, "Oh, this." For somebody who likes like those more obscure horror films, this felt cozy for me.
mm-hmm.
And that shot of the dad dying and everything, like that felt so nostalgic of like a 70s 60s 70s b Hammer film,
Sure.
or even just a normal like one of those like weirdo b films from the 70s. Like it has a great vibe in terms of how it was shot, at least those credits.
Yeah, I have to agree. I actually I enjoyed those opening credits too, because what the panning of it, of where it just starts to pan across the table, it was very haunting at the same time, a very uncomfortable
Yes.
feeling, because there's food on the table. Then you start to see like the maggots and the worms, and it's getting more gross and all that shit. And it's supposed to give, because it's a Cinderella story, and you're like, ooh, it looks happy family throwing cake at each other. At least one person's throwing cake, and then my guy just dies, and then just pans that shit until just grief and darkness, and the colors change
Yes.
too, which is great cinematography, like you said, awesome editing, and then the producing side of things, and then the movie starts. And again, back to Elvira. Now, Big Money, I want to start with you, obviously. What did you think about Elvira as a character, at least in the beginning, before we get to where she goes? In the beginning, how did you feel about her?
So I'm going to throw a blanket statement for everybody that is going to watch this movie. This is normal of like any Hollywood or like film, that when they call somebody ugly, they're not ugly. And I'm just going to specifically say that's I want to be ugly in Sweden, because anybody who's labeled kind of ugly or weird looking is either good looking or okay looking, but still pretty hot in general, bangable, very bangable.
Sure.
And so immediately off the bat, the ugly stepsister. The only reason why we call her ugly is like literally ugly Betty. She has like these uh uh uh, uh I'm forgetting
Braces.
the name of them. The
Braces.
braces.
She has
Thank you.
braces.
The yeah, the braces. Sometimes my Spanish gets in the way. of, it's an international film. I'm an international guy.
There you go. It's true.
But like the reason why we call her ugly is apparently she's fat. She has these braces. Like, by the way, if she's fat, like, oh wow, okay.
For real.
I have seen, yeah, no, it's interesting all those dynamics. But now talking about the psychology of the character, I really think that this movie is done really well in that you sympathize with her, but she still retains, which is what I enjoy a lot about this movie. She still retains the fact that she is not a good person. And just like the ugly stepsisters of the story, they are not good people. You sympathize with them because you give them motivation. You give them reason for doing things. And she has a legitimate reason. She has a hope of meeting this nice prince. She fantasizes about him. Obviously, the film is a commentary on the expectations on women back in the day and even now, the expectations of beauty. All of that is embroiled in the character. But at least for me, when I was seeing it, I was concerned because whenever I hear we're looking at kind of like Wicked, right?
Sure.
Where we're gonna try and make the Wicked Witch of the West, because Elphaba is just her name for the novel, not in the not in the original novels from Frank L. Frank Baum. Uh, a funny name, Bum.
Bum. We
Sorry.
saw Bum in this movie.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of bums in this movie.
A lot of Bum.
Like the problem with the Wicked movies and novels for me is that they take the Wicked Witch and turn her into the good guy.
Yes.
Instead of, yes, now we understand why she is wicked. No, there's propaganda that makes her look wicked, but she's actually a good guy. No, this movie could have gone that route and I would have hated this movie.
Sure.
What this movie does is it takes Elvira, one of the ugly stepsisters, humanizes her. And then after they humanize her, they show like this is why she ends up as rotten as she is.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think it worked really well. Her entire arc worked well.
Yeah, I agree. I actually really enjoy the arc too. Because, like you said, she is bad. There is no turning back. I actually would say it is not her fault that she is bad. It is 1,000% her mother. 1,010%
Yes.
it's her mom. Her expectations are a little too high too. But here's the thing. There's nothing wrong with daydreaming of finding your prince or finding your true love. And that the movie plays into a factor with that, where it's just like, hey, anybody, they say it to her, technically, anybody can get it, pretty much. Anybody has this opportunity. But to her, right off the bat, like with the mom was like, well, we got to change her. She is gross. She's fugly. I don't think. Now, here's the thing. They did a very good job, because I wouldn't say she was exactly attractive until they started to perform the fun surgeries on her. But, when you see the actual change, she does look gorgeous. She looks very, very pretty.
Yes, she does.
But I love that her character does grow in a sense of being wicked or being just selfish. And it's not her fault. Yes. She's selfish because her mom made her this way. Because if you look at the other sister's not like that. She doesn't have that mentality. No. So then when we get towards the end of the film, you do feel a win for her. You get that win for the sister, both of them in the long run. But I liked that, because you're not rooting for her. Sometimes you feel like you are, though. Sometimes you're like, I'm hoping that she gets what she wants, but she just goes too far and way too much. And it's only because of her mom. Her mom makes all the, we're going to do this. And the one thing I truly love about, especially the beginning of this movie, is that it gets into it. The ball, it's time for a ball. We got the guy comes over, which, that shit was hilarious when, Cinderella gives her name.
Yeah.
And then he goes, and you, and Elvira, and then Bon. And then that's my stepsister. Von stepsister. And you're like, yeah, that's where she's at, Bon. But the way and it's great because he's just holding the paper and he's got the feathered pen. He's Bon.
Yeah. Yeah, he's going like, either you're from a really important family or you're fucking not going.
Yeah, that's exactly what it was. It was like he was just waiting. You're going to give me pretty much sitting there be like, I need a last name, bitch. I need a last name, bitch. And and she's just sitting there, and then Bon, Yvonne, and that whole part. Really funny. Really enjoyed that scene. But one thing I want to mention too, and for a Big Money, I want you to tell me what you feel about this one. Because it's a surprise. They married for money. Well, the mother married for money. And what do they have? No money.
Nothing. Both of them did. That's Zero. To me, that was a hilarious thing of both of them are getting together for money. They're thinking they're scamming each other.
Yes.
For their money. And when they realize that nobody has money, they go like, what the fuck are we gonna do?
I like that.
And then the stepmother decides, I like that twist, because then what it does, it creates real necessity for them to actually get married to the prince.
Correct.
And all three of them, all three of them, even though the other stepsister's not that involved in in the whole process of going to the ball. But anybody that can actually, get hitched with a rich guy must do so, because we needs the money.
Correct.
And I think that was a brilliant move, because it creates a necessity for both Cinderella, because she doesn't have, which she begins as Agnes, which means holy in the ancient Greek,
Mhm.
and then after she does something, she becomes Cinderella, the ashy one. Like she goes and burns. Like it's a great symbolism when they do with what they do with her name. But going back, Cinderella has nothing but her name. She's comes from an affluent family. That's why she was giving all those titles.
Mhm.
But even though she has a name, she doesn't have money. She also wants to escape the step mother and her stepsisters, and then the stepsister is looking for money for her mother, providing for the family, doing her job as a woman of her time.
Yeah.
And you just created motivation for everybody with that.
Mhm.
That was brilliant. I really loved it.
Yeah, I really like that too. I that's one thing I will say when it comes to this story is it's done really well, and the steps make sense, and they don't let up.
Yes.
As well, like it just goes. Okay, you barely get a pause to breathe because something's happening next, and you think for a second, okay, well, she did this and she did that, and then you're like, all right, so we get a breather, and then something else happens, and then you're like, oh my god, like there's somebody in the barn, and whoa, that's a fucking Van Morrison Brown Eyed Girl right there. Whose Brown Eyed Girl is that? Turns around, holy shit! You're like, what's happening? This Disney, don't watch this movie. And I like that though, because I like the fact that they were able to hit these strides with the writing, with the directing, and the acting.
Yes.
I'll tell you right now, the acting in this movie is very good. Everybody did phenomenal.
Top tier from everybody. Everybody does an amazing job.
Yes, I agree. Everybody did an absolute amazing job. And here's what's fucking wild. Okay, so we were watching the movie, and like you said, she has the braces. Now I'm sitting there looking, and I'm like, she's got braces. What year was this? I'm thinking, there was braces around back then? Like, aren't they got the big fucking thing on their head? Like,
Yeah.
was braces truly? They had to be wooden, because where'd they get the money from? They have no money. Braces are fucking expensive. Where'd you get the money
They
from?
are. Even now, they're expensive.
That's what I'm saying. So,
Very
I mean, they couldn't have been free back then, so she had braces before anything with the prince. It wasn't like they slapped the braces on her. Like, she had braces prior to that. But and then we see later on, when we see all the other girls, some of them got braces too. And I'm like, fucking braces. Like, where did that come? I don't know. I thought that kind of threw me for a loop, because I was trying to think time wise. Like, there's no cars in this shit. There's no cars. No. So where did braces go? When did braces get invented? Like, I'd like to know that. Someone tell me, when did braces get invented? Because I didn't know that. But this is what's fucking wild. Okay. Because the braces get connected in this sense of the next major scene. They need to fix her nose.
Yes.
But before we fix her nose, we have to take the braces off. And that's what's really important, of being able to take the braces off. Holy shit. Oh, look who is here. Well, about time, Mr. Malave. You are a little late to class sir.
Oh, my
sorry,
goodness.
Sorry, professors.
He's getting late, but he's arriving. Why is he
running out?
I was overseeing a nose job, and it went horribly wrong because they had a chisel, and there was blood everywhere. I'm sorry, but I'm here. I'm here.
Well, thank you, Mr. Belave, for coming to class a little bit late there, sir. But it's okay, because we haven't gotten to the nitty of the gritty yet, man. We're getting up to the part where the braces are there and a nose job is about to be literally happening. But here's the thing.
That. Perfect timing.
But here's the thing, Mr. Belave, and I'm glad you're here, because look who decided to show up to class. There's Sabrina, Florida's favorite creep, is here.
Oh,
up,
my
everyone?
goodness, they're here.
Welcome to class, Sabrina. Honestly, you're in perfect timing because we are discussing the scene where the braces and the nose job. So we haven't gotten very deep.
That's good.
So-
I'm good.
Hell yeah.
It's
Hey,
all
welcome,
good.
Sabrina. I didn't see you in the hallway, which is crazy. I thought I would. I came up to the other side. You came from the right.
Actually, I came from the back entrance through the cafeteria. But you know, Matt, I'm so glad you can talk because that means it worked, and I don't have to talk about it anymore.
I have no idea what you're talking about, but okay. I came in through the other side. All right, we're gonna keep going.
Well, let me go ahead and mention
That's
this.
actually what happened to that.
Oh, go ahead, Big Bunny.
That
What were you
actually
saying?
happened to Cinderella in this movie, but we'll talk about it.
Well,
That
yeah.
happened to Cinderella in this movie, but I digress.
There is This is so we have a full class right now, guys. Again, we are talking about the Ugly Stepsister. We are up to the part where the braces are coming off and the nose job is getting done. Here's where things get a little wild. Before we get into it, can anybody tell me when braces were invented? Because I didn't know they had braces back in those days. If anything, it would have been the big wire and shit. When did braces get invented?
They look very modern. Like in this movie, it was crazy.
This
I
whole
don't know.
movie was modern with like, you know, the 1860s whatever twist on it. It's like, oh, okay, that's fine. We're just gonna ignore the fact that braces are a thing, but not a thing.
I just
It's fine.
It threw me for a loop because I was like at first we were watching it, right? And I'm looking and I'm like, are those braces or does she have like rotting teeth or some shit? Because maybe rotting teeth would work and they're gonna yank them out and then they're like,
I thought they were rotting teeth.
Yeah, they were fucking braces, and I'm like, braces. I mean, were they wood braces? Like, what the? Who invented? When did braces get invented?
So the one thing about that is the only leeway I give this movie is that it is a fairy tale. It still is through and through a fairy tale. So because it is a fairy tale, I can excuse it for having some modern technology. I can also excuse it for having some modern music as well, because it did have some modern music. But I really think that that is fairy tale element saved it from, because it's even a fantasy land. They're not even in a real land. It's a fantasy land. Yeah. So I think it helped it keep it from being
I guess the
historically
modern
inaccurate.
dentistry. I guess like that's what we want to make modern in this fairy tale. Whatever.
Modern dentistry, but no modern nose jobs.
100%.
But no modern nose jobs. Like what's going on?
No modern nose jobs
like,
throws you out.
Only
it's
modern
kinda wild.
blowjobs.
Well, we got to. we will get there. We will get there because holy shit, that's hilarious. But okay, so here's the thing. Before we even get to the nose, we're on to the braces. And this doctor or whatever he wants to call himself, he's yanking the braces out of her off her teeth, and he's yanking them. It's not just like pluck, pluck, pluck. Brace. I've had braces. You do have. There's glue on them. You know they stick to your teeth, and they gotta pull them off. He's going pop, and then she's just and that had me rolling. Her scream, she did a very good job when it came to like showing pain really well.
Dude, for real.
Nailed it. I loved it. The way the act that me and Big Money did mention this, that the acting in this movie is very good. Everybody did a very good job.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there was definitely some really good acting. Sorry. I love the fact that like even this movie, the fact that this movie was in foreign language and there was not much dialogue, it goes to show how like we've alluded to in a couple episodes, like the character action, the physical acting in this movie and showing pain and the screams and everything kind of like help them elevate their chops, you know, their acting prowess.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They clearly get the message across with their acting.
Yeah, agreed 100%.
It doesn't even have to be in English. I can understand everything that's happening and the emotion that they're conveying clearly.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of dialogue.
Person.
You just see everything.
Yes, this is a very visual movie. You have your dialogue, but even like Big Money said, you don't need to learn Norwegian for this movie. Yes, there are subtitles, but the subtitles come and go. It's mostly action more than actual dialogue, like Mr. Balave said. But the dialogue does help in most senses when you need it. But the screams is what does it. When he fucking takes the chisel and goes to fucking fix her nose.
Yes.
Holy shit. Just what I don't know how to speak Norwegian, but it was like dos, fras, boom.
He was actually counting in French.
Yeah.
Was it really?
French.
Do
Yes.
trois.
Un,
Fresh.
deux, trois.
Yeah. There was a few things that was like, is this French or like Norwegian or Dutch or whatever? But like,
But I love that it was like Norwegian plus French for him because as a doctor, he just sees so many clientele. But it's like, it was cool that those elements were intertwined with his character because no other character spoke French the entire time. It was just the doctor.
Which
I
was
think it was
pretty
like
great.
almost like a sign of wealth, right? It was like the evil stepmother is like, we're going to pay for all of
Yeah.
this. And then we're going to fly in this doctor from Paris or some shit. You
The
know what I
best
mean?
doctor.
Which she even says that this whole thing of like paying anybody was supposed to be paid after the ball. Because
Yeah.
like we're gonna do
He
all
even
of
says,
this
like, I'll pay you double after
the
she marries
ball.
the prince.
After she marries the prince, we'll get you your money. So do this right. And that fucking nose job. I mean, ouch, big money.
Big money.
I gotta ask you,
Yeah.
how did your nose hurt when he fucking chiseled that shit?
Oh yeah. He was like, I'm a man. He was saying everything in the German. He was like, un, deux, trois, and then he just banged that hammer. Oh my God! Like I felt it. Like I actually started feeling my nose itch a little bit. Random comment though, and because I just have to say it now because we're in that scene, like. The nurse assistants of this doctor, like, where have they been all my life? Just saying.
Jesus.
I literally thought to myself, hello, nurse.
Yes.
The whole time.
She was the guinea pig
yes.
for all of his fucking his
Everything.
work too, because she had everything done, but she looked delicious. Very, 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 very
Including
good
the
looking.
missing eye. Like, fuck.
Like very good. Sabrina, how about your nose? When that little chip? Well, he gave 2 chips, but fucking did you feel a little pain going to that nose?
So I didn't feel any pain, but it was like that phantom pain where you just like you touch the area being affected anyway, whether it hurts or not, just because you don't want to imagine it. So as soon as you hear ooh, what and that chip, and you literally hear it smack, the hammer hit the chisel, and you hear the blood curdling scream, I legit just like covered my nose like this. I was like, absolutely fucking not.
Oh, her screaming was amazing. Mr. Malave, that scream, did that scream that pierced your ears, did it make you feel a type of way?
Oh yeah, no, I love the Scream Queen. So like, yeah, it was definitely like eerie. It was almost like in pain, but she was trying to like hold it in a way. So and then like when the chisel went in, you heard the first crack. I kind of like just scrunched my nose a little bit, and I was like, like, and then they went in again, and I was like, what is the percentage he's actually accurate in breaking the same spot? The answer is never that accurate at this time, but it was it sucked, and then you just see like the blood just coming down. It wasn't a lot, but like it was just enough to just show the runningness, and then like the close-ups just made it that much more like cringy,
Yeah, that's one thing I will say is they do get pretty close with the camera in this movie.
Yes.
And we'll get to another one.
Uncomfortably close.
Yes, and then the second one is very close.
Oh, very close.
And it's very uncomfortable watching it too, especially if you're not really into anybody touching their eye or some shit like that. But they go ahead and they stick this gold brace on her nose. And then now we get to go to like that whole like the school for young women that need to be elegant and they're ready and they're all excited.
finishing
Beauty school.
Yeah,
The
that's
finishing
what it is.
school.
We're going to beauty school and we're gonna do ballet and we're gonna walk with books on our heads. Sabrina.
Yeah.
What did you think about this whole like scene of being in the school and how she was treated? Because she was very good at ballet, great dancer, but she was ugly.
I wonder if she took some sort of classes before that for ballet, because as far as everything else that they had her do in the finishing school, she was terrible at it and like actually had to learn.
Yeah.
But the dancing, she was just natural. So I feel like there was some sort of crossover there where it's like, oh, maybe she's been practicing for this her whole life, but she just needed help on everything else. But for her to do starting with the dance and then the rest of the finishing school as far as etiquette and like poise and grace, it's interesting to me about how hard she worked for everything else, but not for the dance.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she really didn't do anything extra for the dance. She just got pretty, and then they were like, "Okay, I guess you can be up front."
I mean, but isn't that like kind of what that shit is all about, right? They're in beauty school or the finishing school.
That
but
is
it's
the
almost
metaphor.
Like
yeah.
the prettier you are, you're gonna get in the front of the line. Doesn't matter how great you are. You know
Yes,
what I mean?
but that's
So-
why I'm wondering why she worked so hard on everything else.
Well, I mean, it's the total package, right? She has to like win him over with like waltzing and batting your eyes like this and like, you know, all that other shit. So she had to like get pretty and then do it. You know what I mean? Like get good at
Yes,
shit, you know?
but it was also like her mom paid
taught her
for
how
her
to
to be
do
there.
other things.
Like she
Yeah.
paid for her to be the lead, so it's like she didn't even earn that.
Well, technically,
The entire time she doesn't earn anything.
Well,
It
well,
was
I mean,
her
but
being
that's-
pretty because
we find that out. We find that
So-
out later that the mom paid for her.
Well,
but
even in the ballet school, she straight up says
Well,
you wouldn't
she
be here
does.
if your mom didn't pay me.
that
Yeah,
is
but-
true. But that comes after they make those choices, because you see that one name is there and then it's eventually crossed out and says Elvira, which is that's all the way at the end, because you know Agnes is like number one, of course, Cinderella.
Right.
But like before even like all that, you know, she's out in the fucking woods with her sister and she's reading the book and she's the poems or whatever the fuck it is of the stories of Prince Julian. He likes to move it.
His poems, yes.
And she's talking to her
tasteless
sister,
poems.
and her sister has no interest. This is like the dude, you know, you're just following in mom's footsteps and shit. Like you're just trying to listen to what mom tells you to do. And you know, you could, because all she does is daydream about it, and the mother's just pretty much planting this shit in her. We're gonna make you the one. You're gonna do it, and all this, which turns her, you know, technically into a psychopath in the long run. But my favorite part was
Sociopath.
Yeah.
Well, even the
sociopath,
teacher's
great
encouraging her. So it's like the mom and the teacher may not be on the same terms, but they're
They're
doing the same
class.
thing. Yeah.
I feel
They may
the
not be on the same
teachers-
bus, but they're going to the same school.
But I feel the teacher
know?
had more of a heart with it though, because I don't think not the ballet teacher, the other fucking teacher.
Okay.
the finishing school teacher.
Yeah, she was more of like, it's the beauty that's inside until she gives her the locket. But when
Yeah,
she's
she's like,
explaining
we want
it
your
to her-
insides to match your outside.
yeah, which is when the locket comes and you're like, oh, that's pretty interesting. But we'll
Thought
get
it was cute.
we'll get
Not a
there.
cute moment.
That was we'll get there for that moment. But
Yeah.
when she's
Yeah,
in
we'll get
when
there.
she's in the woods, right, and she's sitting there and reading her book, and her sister decides to leave. She hears a noise. She hears a couple of people, and she goes to go take a look see of what's going on out there. And I thought this was really funny because it reminded me of like a '90s film. You got fucking three dudes just chilling, drinking, having a good old fucking time, and you just see ass, straight up ass.
Straight,
Yes.
but
Straight-
guy ass.
Yeah,
Just wild
Princely
straight
ass,
hairy
if you will.
guy booty.
Royal
The
ass.
royal,
The royal assets.
hiney.
That was
Yes.
the
Royal
royal
ass.
assets. The royal ass. He's taking a piss and turns around and she's like, "Oh, well, hello there, Mr. Malave. What was your vibe from this moment of just a man, the prince, taking a piss, turns around and well, there she is, staring right at the motherfucker."
You know, I mean, you know, I'm looking at it just like, yeah, you like that, right? Yep, this is what royalty gets you, you know? You're just going to stand there, or you're going to help me out, you know? That's the vibe he was giving out.
That's
Like, he
exactly the vibe he was giving.
And then like, the boy was just like, yo, look at this creep
Yep.
over there. He was just like, just let her look. Let her look and see what she's getting. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it was that look. And he was just like, wow, you're kind of a dick too. Like, all right,
Yes.
royalty. Right? You know, it's almost like the royal penis is clean, your highness.
Yes.
And you're like, yeah, well,
Mm.
that's what you want her to do, right? You disgusting psychopath.
Yeah.
That was the vibes.
Which it was fucking hilarious too, because you know she's not responding or anything. She's just staring at a dick and whatnot.
Yeah, yeah.
And again, it gives you that '90s
Yep.
type of vibe where you got the boys sitting there, just like, "Yo, there, look, she's gonna suck your dick," like all that type of shit.
Yep.
And my favorite response was the prince, and this is what
Yeah.
insane. Right off the bat was like, "I wouldn't fucking hit that."
Yeah.
He was just like, "Nah, I'm good. I don't want that shit." Big money.
like, nah,
How'd that make you feel at that moment? That right off the bat, the fucking prince was like, "Nah, that's an ugly bitch. I ain't sticking my dick in it."
Yeah.
I just like that he was so drunk that his pants were literally around his ankles to take a piss.
He was pretty.
There was something so funny
Yeah.
about just like a zoom in of his ass, and then
Well, you gotta
like,
understand.
well, why are
You
his
gotta
pants around his
understand.
ankles?
They're
He was
using
so
suspenders
plastic.
and shit. So the moment the suspenders goes down a little bit, it's just like I don't even think zippers was involved.
Nah,
like
dude.
like
An
it's
ass
just
like that would hold it up in the back.
No.
You know.
You got an ass like that, it would hold it up in the back.
Hey yo, tell me
I
how
was
you
just
really
so-
feel. There,
I was
partner.
so confused, and I
You're
started
saying, oh, he has an
laughing.
ass like that. He's like, he must work
Yeah.
out. You know.
Nah, dude. Prince has
What
got
he
a
was doing?
dumper.
Prince was doing his squats. That's what's happening. He was doing
Yeah.
squats.
He's got a dumper.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. So what would you do with the royal penis?
Slap
Never
her
mind.
nothing.
It's not that kind of show. It's not that kind of show.
If
Slap
I
her a
read
little
those
bit.
poems, I would immediately just be like, nah, man, this guy's a dumbass.
The prince is a fucking retard.
He's a shallow dumbass.
He's
I
a
would
dumb
never.
jock.
But I want to big
But-
money. That scene.
But you know,
go for it.
yeah. So for me, I love that scene. It's funny.
Is it
Like
because
it's
his
super
ass?
funny,
Mhm.
but on the layers that it actually that's a very important shot curiously, because the first thing you meet from the real prince, because you've seen his reputation, you've seen his poems, and now you see who he really is, but you don't see him first, you see his ass first,
Mhm.
which
Yes.
is just a whole metaphor in and of itself. You just see the ass of the prince because he is an ass.
Yeah.
He's talking in his poems, he's talking about perpetual wonderful virginity, and you see him talking about how many ladies he's already fucked.
Mhm.
Yep.
So you already see the
Hypocritical
the
side.
layers of
Oh, 100%.
he's a
That
hypocrite.
double
He's a
standard.
hypocrite. So I really love that. Like in terms of like the deeper stuff, like I think that was good. In terms of just like humor in general, like I really just like that his friends like are literally frat bros, like Tommy said, from the 90s
Oh,
and 80s.
100%.
Just go like, whoa, suck that dick.
It reminds me of
They
a
just
party
ha-
from like American Pie. You know
Sure.
what I mean?
Yes. Very good.
Except both
Yes.
of your friends are Stifler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Both of their friends are Stifler. Yes, that's very true. That
Yes.
makes a lot of sense, actually. And
No, the Shermanator and
Yeah.
the
Stifler.
Shermanator and
Oh, my
Stifler.
God.
Yes, very good. But I will say this, because the prince, he is a dick. Like, he's an asshole.
Yes.
He's a fucking retard.
Yep.
He is 1,000% not a good guy. So she has this whole dreams sequence, of being with this man. Finally has the opportunity. The girl is like 10 feet away from the man, and he straight up goes, "She's ugly. I wouldn't hit it. She doesn't deserve it. I don't want it." And it changes nothing. She's not like, "Wow, mom,
Yes.
he's
Yes.
a real piece of garbage."
Right.
Like, no,
It's not like, I
she's
want a
still
stable boy.
mesmerized.
She immediately is like, well, I must be perfect for him then. It's like, what?
That's what it
The
feels
Delulu
like.
was strong
Oh, yeah.
with this one.
Yeah, I
like,
mean-
holy Jesus. Go ahead, Mr. Malave.
No, I mean that's just the whole thing about this story, right? Is the fact the delusion and the whole stereotype of having to be perfect and living this perfect life, and you must get this guy and go into wealth. That just kind of makes it all like shallow and delusional, like with all these women and just a whole kind of like stigma and the whole like neighborhoods around them is just. You have to marry into royalty. They even said it. It's just like, well, even if it's not the prince, there's still going to be a lot of wealthy single men. So come correct. You know what I mean? And it's just like, goddamn, like, it's just, it's how it was back then, but it's also how people like kind of lived it these days too. You have to be wealthy. You have to look a certain way.
Yeah.
I mean, you look at the influx of like Botox and all that other stuff happening today. Like, everyone's just coming around like, hey, look at my lips. And you're like, what the hell are you doing? Like, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Look
Like,
at my botched BBL.
Yeah. Yeah, I got it on sale. It was 2 for 1.
Yep.
Me and my friend went.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that you that you put it that way, Mr. Beloved, because it is true. They do mention, like, okay, if you can't get him, you can get someone else, because it's all about the
not
money.
for homegirl. Not for homegirl.
And I'll tell you why. And I guess
Yeah.
she's a psychopath and a sociopath, as we know this, but she wasn't in it for the money. The mom was in it for the money. The mom was telling her, this is what you got to get the money, get the prince, all this great shit. But she was legitimately obsessing over this man.
Yeah.
She was in
In-
love with
she-
this guy.
She was in love.
She was in love
don't
with
think it was
she was in
some
love with a
fan
story.
shit.
She was in love with a story, a book.
Yeah, I think it was the infatuation of the
Yes.
idea. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
Yeah.
she legit
and-
just had
No, well,
this idea
yeah.
of him that she just held on into until almost the very end.
So you think about it this way, right? And now maybe
Yeah.
I'm thinking too deep into this, but like it's almost like it's kind of like she's the middle child. I feel like Cinderella was just probably a little older. Then her other sister was a little younger. Like maybe she's like the middle child, and it's this complex of I gotta win. You know what I mean? Like I know Cinderella was her stepsister and everything, but she was like the one that's coming in the first, the prettiest one, the one's fucking stable boys, like shit like that. You know what I mean? But like, so she wanted to be like, this is mine, he's mine, I'm gonna get it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And that's that internal conflict with the competition with the siblings.
The
you know?
Jan
I
Brady.
feel like it cuts deeper than that, actually.
Oh,
I feel
absolutely.
Like it cuts deeper than just I need to win this prize. Because in the beginning of the movie, she even tells him when she goes, "Oh, you like the prince's work?" And she goes, "Oh, well, I want to marry him."
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it stemmed way before she even met, Agnes. Like, I don't know whether it was a thing with her parents where, like, after her father died, her mom was like always saying we were strapped for cash, and she was just like, "Well, I just want to marry the prince. I don't care about money. I'm obsessed with this." Maybe that book was her escape or something.
It's very
But it was
possible.
just the fact of like she went above and beyond to voice to anyone that would even ask how she felt about the prince before Agnes was even like a part of the picture.
That's
So
true.
it has
true.
to stem like way
Yes.
deeper than the competition.
Yeah, I
of
think
siblings.
all of that together, like before it was the infatuation, now that is like, oh, everyone's going for it, then I need to win.
Yes, it's a competition with everybody
we're
else.
missing a key.
Go ahead, Big
Well,
Mike.
I think we're missing a key scene from. Yeah, I think we're missing a key scene from the beginning of the movie. When she arrives to the house, right?
Hmm.
And when she arrives to the house, who is the first person she sees and Googles over? She Googles over Agnes. She Googles over Cinderella. And the reason why she does it is because notice that even in her dreams, how does she look in her dreams?
Blue dress, Cinderella.
She looks exactly she looks like Cinderella.
Gorgeous.
Basically, she always envisioned herself looking like a Cinderella type. Like she sees Agnes as she's standing there and going like, "Oh my God, all I fantasize about is looking like you, so I can get my prince." And here you are, just like flaunting it without a problem. Like she wasn't infatuated in a lesbian sense. She was infatuated in like,
I want to be her.
want to be
Yes.
you.
It's not I want to
And
be
by
with
the
you,
end
it's
of
I
the-
want to be you.
And by the end of the movie, she is basically her own version of Cinderella, blonde wig and all.
Yes.
So you see that obsession. What she does is she wants to become Cinderella.
Yeah. Pretty much. She wants to be Cinderella. She sees how beautiful she is. She's very, very elegant and whatnot. And she knows that she cannot let her go to the ball because that's who he's going to pick.
She's been number one that whole time.
Yeah.
So the fact that she's like, "Well, I'm going to the ball," it's like, I can't let you win.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
You literally can't go. That's the only way this is going to happen.
Correct.
That's the only way she has a shot is if she doesn't show up.
And she does the best thing possible. She catches her in the act of sexual intercourse
Yep.
with Isaac the stable boy.
She's a whore. They said it.
Yes.
Fucking whore. And let's get to that scene. All right, because she hears
I
a little
saw a
bit of
flaccid
noise.
dick.
I saw, holy shit, did you see a Loch Ness monster? Because you saw, that was like, here we go. But it was more how it set it up, which it made it worse. Because I'm watching, I'm like, what the fuck is she
It's the
seeing?
whole
Very
85 inches of my
animalistic.
screen.
Straight up fucking
That's
ass.
unfortunate, Matt.
Just white ass right there. And you're like, what the fuck? Is that a vagina? Oh shit, that's
Dude, the minute she turned up and arched that back, I was like, "Yo, what am I? Shit, is this allowed?"
I saw the JJ.
Yo, again, this is Norwegian, so
I
they're
saw
like, "We're doing
pink
it."
and brown eyes.
Yeah, I saw I'm telling you, I seen the brown-eyed girl from Van Morrison. This is what happened here, okay? Holy shit. That was amazing because it just came out of nowhere, literally. And then you just see the monster. You see the one-eyed Willie, and he just goes right for it, too. You saw Uncle Willie, and it went right in.
I love that it flashes between him and the horse. So in her mind, it is a very animalistic thing. And I'm just like, oh my God.
Yes.
And he's also the stable boy.
I have a question for you guys. Did anybody think she was going to get fucked by the horse?
Yes, at one point, because then you heard some of the, and you're like, wait, no. What is happening? Who is fucking who right now? And what is fucking what? Like, at one point, I was just like, is the guy fucking the horse? No,
Right, okay, good. I'm not the only one. Okay.
Like, I swear to God, I was confused for a split second, and I was like, thank God it's just regular sex happening.
What I saw, what I also saw is that, and based on some of her comments later, this is not the first time she has puckered that ass up to get it from that stable boy. Because as she's talking about some of the poetry from the prince, and then, you see Elvira all innocent, even though she's an evil sociopath, she's also very innocent. And my girl, Cinderella, is a real life dirty hoe.
She a dirty hoe.
Because she goes like, he's talking about dick. He's talking about dicks.
Penis,
That's what he's doing
He's
in that,
talking
in that
about
poem.
penises.
He's talking about penis. Come on. You
He's
can't
literally
fucking
like,
tell.
this is not as
Come
great
on.
as you think it sounds. This is what he's talking about. And
Yeah.
freaking Elvira's just
She
sitting
just
there like,
needed to
what do you
light up
mean?
a cigarette. She needed to light up a cigarette and go like, it's a penis. Okay?
Baby doll.
Let me tell you something.
It's a penis.
Elvira, let me tell you something. That man's talking about deer.
That guy's talking about his
They
dick.
always talk a good game, but it's never as good as you think it will be.
Yep. Except unless your name's Isaac the stable boy. Because he was railing her, I'll tell you that much.
Now,
You saw it.
How about the fact that though she's there, she's witnessing her stepsister get pounded, by the way. Like
Pound
did. He
Like
was going to Pound Town.
Like arched back all the way down.
Oh,
Pound
fucking
Town.
ridiculous. And she
Macaroni in a pot.
She turns around, looks at her, and she looks back at her.
Hey.
It's almost like you're listening to that whole the stuck in a drive-through. She looks at me, and I look at him, and he looks at me. Like that's what was happening. And what is Cinderella?
You're joining?
That's the eyes she gave her, though. She didn't give her the eyes of, oh, fuck.
She gave her the look of joining, yeah.
She gave her the look of going like,
You wanna feel it?
you want a piece too, bitch? Because she just kept going. She turned back around,
And
was
he
like,
went harder.
he did.
It wasn't until he turned around. I don't know if you guys have ever had this happen, but I've never experienced any of it happening. Have you ever came by surprise?
I mean, yeah.
Like not a good surprise. Like you turn around, you see somebody staring at you, and you're like, "Oh, can't hold it."
No, I've never had that before.
No.
Oh,
Because that was him.
Yeah, he came
Isaac
by
straight
surprise.
up turned around.
I actually
And it's
had
almost- It's kind of like
I actually
when-
had a dinner that went like that once. I'm joking.
That was when you had another
wanna
sticky
know.
chair.
kind of like if you're scrolling through Pornhub on your phone and then your buddy texts you just as you're about to, and you're just like, "Oh no."
Oh
Isaac, no.
no, that has happened. That has happened.
Yeah.
No.
That's why I equated that to. It's like, oh yeah, you're scrolling, all of a sudden, you're getting
No,
that,
that-
real good part, and then your friend just messages you.
So
you
you're
see their
saying
name, and you're like,
that's-
oh no.
And the text is like, "What up,
No,
dick?"
I just came thinking about my friend. What the fuck?
Exactly. Like I know Isaac didn't look at her and go, "Oh yeah, that's hot. That's awesome." He probably turned and went, "Oh shit."
Yeah.
But he was already at that.
So he
point.
came in fear.
I thought that scene was hilarious.
He was
That
like,
was- that was
Literally the fear come and then you just see it drip down
You
in the
do.
stable. You're like,
Yo.
holy
Nasty.
shit, you're showing
we
me
saw
everything.
eyes. You saw Isaac's yogurt. Yes, indeed.
I
Yeah.
literally just watched like softcore Norwegian porn and I was like, yo, this is wild.
Yeah, well, I would say that was porn.
Yeah.
It was porn.
It was porn.
That was
It's
NC-17.
softcore.
It was softcore porn, yes.
Softcore.
Yeah, but we saw.
But it was
dick. We don't
penis
see dick in
into
soft
vagina.
porn.
That
We
I
we
wouldn't
don't
say
see
that's
That's what I was
soft.
gonna
vagina
say.
in soft
You do. You
porn.
just don't see penetration, but that's
No,
He was
We did-
railing
we
her
did not
though.
in the movie.
no.
He was.
You've never seen
hammering
Skinamax, right?
Yeah, they
Okay.
never show dick.
No, because
They
you
never
don't
show
see
dick.
you don't see dick. You don't
You
see
don't
dick.
see dick.
dick,
We saw
though.
dick. We saw.
You
We
see
saw
shaft,
dick.
You just don't see head.
You know, well, we see. Oof.
Well, we see the monster. We see the eyes.
But here's the thing, right?
I hope there are no children listening
I want to
to
get
this-
away.
this
I want to get
episode.
away.
I just hope so.
I want to get because there's more
We're
sex
getting
and
way
there's
too
more.
into it.
There's more fucking dick scenes. But we'll get we're gonna get away from this right now because, again, yes, this
This
is what
episode is
she
rated
ends up
R.
obviously telling her mother like what happened. You know, Isaac gets banished from the castle, banished
she's
from
a
the.
fucking
Lucky he didn't
tattletale.
get his head chopped off.
I was well, they're not rich, so technically,
Yeah, they're not royalty.
Yeah,
so she doesn't give two shits.
yeah, it's just go away. He's naked, runs away, and she's like, Isaac.
I don't know why, but fine.
What?
Yeah.
What that?
Why he's running away naked? Like it's the day. It's not like he slept naked. Like why did they strip him naked and
And-
he had to run? Like that was an
Yeah.
unnecessary butt scene.
I never
It's not
thought
like he
about
was
that
stood
either. Yeah,
naked.
that-
It wasn't like right after it either. Like
Also, he was like partially close when they were doing it. So like,
yeah, that's
still,
true
still had his
too.
shirt
Yeah,
on and shit. So
I
what?
don't wanna
He
digress
stripped
too
naked.
much on this.
He stripped naked for the stepmom to come out and just be like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that's interesting. I didn't even think about that. Like
Yeah.
I noticed that he was naked, and I even thought like, why is he naked right now? But I guess it didn't click to be like, wait, this is the total next day. She's already told her mom. They've already went and got on Cinderella for everything.
Cinderella was
you know.
clothed.
She was yes.
I mean, she was
fully.
wearing that dressing gown, which is like the last layer of her dress, so whatever. But it's the fact of like, okay, even if she's wearing that last layer, he still had his motherfucking shirt on.
Yeah, that's true.
Why is he naked right now?
Why was Isaac naked? We have to ask the
She
writers
was super
out
dressed
there.
down. He was just fucking nude.
Why was Isaac naked the very next day? Because it was early in the morning, obviously, but they weren't sleeping together. And again, Cinderella seeing that her sister fucking was staring at them, watching, probably recording on her cell phone since they had braces back then. They probably had cell phones too.
No, of course.
You know,
of course.
and she's
She
going
ran
to
it back.
post it on Pornhub.
They just had the flip phone with the
She got
pixelated
the
camera.
flip- the wooden flip phone.
Yeah,
flip.
but you
Yeah.
see the penis. You see the penis.
You just
Oh, yeah.
straight up.
You see
penis.
that shit in 4K.
That shit was hilarious. Okay, let's get away from the sex. We'll get away from the sex and dick and the brown-eyed girl. Because
Kind of hard.
it was hard indeed in that fucking scene.
Hey,
Let's not
Um,
get away from it, all right? Let's
but-
whitewash it.
We're gonna get away. There was a lot of whitewashing in that one too.
Wipe it off. Move
Wipe
on.
it off. So here's the thing. We get to that one scene where she is talking to the person that runs the beauty school, and she's coming off very, very friendly, very nice, and she's explaining to her that it's it's not about how you are, like facial wise. It's not about being this elegant person when you're a good person on the inside. You always want to be better on the inside. The beauty is on the inside kind of thing. So she comes off really well and then hands her a locket. And that's when she opens the locket to find it's a tapeworm egg.
Yeah.
And then
Delicious.
she
Nutritious.
eats the tapeworm.
Being naked and seeing like zoom ins on the rolls.
Yeah, we get to see all of that. We get some boobs. We get some ass.
We get a lot of ass.
We get some rolls. And I got to tell you, though, because they do say that she's the ugly stepsister, she's fat and all this stuff. I don't think she was fat. I think that was very normal,
No.
and there's nothing wrong there. Great set of boobs. And a nice little booty, too. Not going to hate on the booty either. Big Money, let me go to you on this one, because when you've seen the tape, now you've read the story, so you know about the tapeworm and everything.
Yeah.
But now you get to see it, and you see it moving in the egg. What was the first thing that crossed your mind seeing that?
oh, I went like, oh, they're going there, and I was not expecting because when you see like body horror and things like that. Well, and I saw some of the trailers because when you told us we got the screener, I saw the trailer. I wanted to just get ahead of the game. I was thinking it's going to be more operation, kind of like zzz, operation. We get some of that. But part of the body horror in this film is that fucking tapeworm. And oh my God, if this movie catches on, that tapeworm is going to become iconic. If this movie catches on, I'm telling you right now, the whole thing with the tapeworm, especially the end, are gonna become iconic if it catches on.
I thought that shit was nasty. Sabrina, if somebody gave you the egg of a tapeworm, would you eat it?
No,
Why?
because I know that's going to kill me.
It's very possible. Well, unfortunately, Agnes did. And how did you feel with Agnes eating that tapeworm? Have you read the story, by the way?
No.
Okay, but you obviously must have known at least that there are the tapeworms involved, plus the other thing that she does towards the end.
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead.
I didn't read the story. I just know of the thing because just like middle schoolers do, we talk a lot about things that we've read. And that disgusted me enough that I didn't want to read it. Because anyone eating a tapeworm, if you don't already know, don't fucking do it. You get no nutrition from it. Yes, it makes you thin, but in the worst fucking ways. It kills you from the inside out. Don't fucking do it.
Mhm.
I was disgusted. I saw the egg and I was like, what the fuck is that? And then the minute it moved, I just went, oh fuck, please don't. Like, I know we're supposed to go this way. I don't want it to go this way. And even at the behest of her sister, who said, like, don't eat it, she immediately just like storms off trying to teach her sister a lesson, gets on the horse and leaves her there.
Mhm.
And she just goes, don't tell mom. And I'm like, okay, at this point, your mom's fucked up. I'm pretty sure she wouldn't care, but your sister obviously cares. And now,
Mom is probably gonna stand up and applaud and go like, "Good job, baby girl."
yeah, she'll probably just be like, "Oh,
you're
you're doing the best.
I
You know,
agree.
this is what it takes to be the best." Like her mom's fucked up enough, but I'm just thinking like, the only person I feel bad for at this point of the story, the only person is that younger sister, where she has to watch her older sister not only eat the fucking tapeworm, but everything that comes with that.
Which
She's
is
watching
not
her
good.
sister like get
No.
modified essentially from head to toe.
Yes.
And the minute she eats the tapeworm, when her sister is just like, please don't do that, I felt for her. And I was like, please don't fucking do that. But of course she does.
I kind of wanted her to do it. So
Me too. It was
you know,
it was weird. I was like, yeah, fucking do it.
I
at
was
this
like,
point.
fucking eat that shit. Because in
Yeah.
my head, I'm
Well, the
thinking
minute
like,
she's like, oh, well, I've got the antidote once when I reach my goal weight.
The
I'm like, she ain't gonna
antidote.
fucking stop at her goal weight.
okay.
She's gonna keep going like every other dumb fuck that does it.
Here's the thing, though. I seen the egg and the tapeworm moving, which was whoa, that was wild. But like, I thought to myself, I was like, I hope she. Now I'd have never read the story, but I know the story, and I'm like, oh, she's gonna put that in her fucking mouth. Yeah, put it in your fucking mouth. Because all in my head, I'm thinking, I'm like, maybe we can create a
pop that
xenomorph out of this shit. Yeah, we could do that.
You know, I did have that
Yes.
thought.
I did.
We'll get to the part later, but remind me xenomorph later.
Oh, I will. Trust me, I will. But oh my God, it was so funny. And when she puts it in her mouth and you're like, oh, it's gonna get good now. Like it's gonna get, because me and Big Money spoke about it in the beginning of the episode, that this is a body horror film and it is considered to be very gruesome. I wouldn't say it's that gruesome. I have seen worse. Okay. I have definitely seen worse. So, but yes, it is gruesome, but not to the point I was like, ugh. Like I was more over dick and fucking, asshole like that, instead of just
You know
like,
what I
the
called
fuck?
this movie?
Go for it.
I said it was psychologically gruesome.
Yes, that
It takes
that
a
makes sense.
blender to
Yeah.
your fucking brain, but it's not like super gory gruesome.
It's
No.
not. It's not fucking Terrifier 3
Minimal
gruesome.
gore.
Yeah,
Yeah.
minimal gore, smart gore. I'd like to put it that way. They knew what
Yeah.
to do at the right places.
you know what? That's
watching
accurate.
a flaccid
Yeah.
penis on my 85-inch was very horrific.
Did it look big
I mean, you
on
shouldn't have
there?
watched it on the 85 inch.
I mean, where else you want me to watch it? On my computer?
Your phone, if you know what's good for
The
you.
IRS.
Where else are you gonna watch a
the
dick?
I
FBI's
don't
watching.
know that there was
going
to be a huge ass fucking dick.
Nobody did, except
Just
the writer and
screen full of
directors.
peen.
It was ridiculous.
It was
honestly.
hilarious. And Mr. Malave, I want to go to you real quick because we
Okay.
were talking. You're the Gore man, okay? You are Mr. Glorious Gore. I said it right. The next scene after that, she goes ahead and pops in a fucking little xenomorph egg
Yep.
is the eyelash scene.
Yes.
She gets some eyelashes, right? And whoa, dude, that shit is wild. So
Yeah.
I want to go to you because this is gore. Okay, this is deep.
The gore.
All right, it's zoomed in right there. This is Final
Yep.
Destination. Look what I'm about to do to you. But before they do it, what does he put on her eyes?
Wait, what was it? It was what was it? It was like some kind of like lube shit,
know,
right?
I know.
Yeah, what was it?
Oh,
Say it,
Sabrina.
It's cocaine.
Cocaine
It
eyeshadow.
was fucking cocaine.
Cocaine.
He
numb
took
her fucking ear.
Bro, he took
Because
two
he does
bumps.
a bump afterwards.
He does
Yeah,
two
he does.
bumps.
He didn't even wait. He didn't even wait for it to numb. He literally just put it on, sniffed it, and he was like, "All right, let's go to work." It's like
we're
you didn't
ready
even wait for it to kick
and
in.
it's just like, wait a minute. I don't think that's how it works.
It's hilarious. He fucking puts cocaine on
Yeah.
the fucking
They
eyes.
do a lot of lucid drugs in this shit.
There
Like, there's-
is.
especially
And-
towards the end.
But here's what's
But yeah.
crazy. Somebody explain this, Mr. Blavey. I'm going to go back to you when we get into the actual eyelash scene because I have to ask. I have to ask. Mr. Blavey, I want to go to you and ask you this question, okay? So we don't have anything to numb her fucking eyes, but we have braces?
yeah. And they got cocaine apparently cut up and nice and processed. Like you know,
You got
fuck
ghosts
is
in your
happening?
blood. Do cocaine about it.
Holy
like,
fuck.
I mean, you don't even think that you can just put ice on there to numb it? Like
alcohol or something? Take a
alcohol
shot.
would make you blind.
You think
but,
they're
like,
rich
still-
and they
I'd
have
rather be
ice?
blind.
They couldn't even put the dead guy on ice. You think they're going to use it on her eyeballs?
That's a
Oh
good
my
point.
God.
The
Well,
father
first
just
of all, yeah, the father just rotting away throughout the whole movie was ridiculous.
it's hilarious. It's
It's
hilarious.
fucking hilarious.
He's decaying, just like Cinderella's psyche.
That's yes, 1,000%. Mr. Malave, let's talk
Yeah.
about those eyelashes and how they were
Let's go.
put in. Because I had to ask Jen after we watched it. I said, "You want some new eyelashes?"
I mean, those are the most permanent ones. You don't have to keep taking them off and on.
Holy
apparently.
fuck! Go ahead,
But
go break it down.
I'm pretty sure they're gonna get infected. Let me tell you something, all right? Let me tell you something. First of all, there was like a little hook needle. I don't even think that was the right needle to even use, right? But once he started doing that and you just get zoomed in there and you see the eyeball, I was just like, well, that little point is right next to the fucking your retina. You better watch out, all right? What happens? She's just gonna get blind? Then they kept cutting to the damn nurse that had one blind eye, and you're like, that shit's gonna happen to you. You better be careful. You know what I mean? But like, then they just like you see the blood and it pops out, and then you hear the pulling. You don't even see it. You hear the pulling, right? Then you go back into the underhook, and the needle's already bloody, and then it goes right back in it, and then instead of you see it pulling out, and then you just see her vision like a POV, and it's just red, and you're like, oh, this is kind of wild. She just got blood in her eyes now, like. You better be careful. And then all I'm thinking this whole entire time is just like the things women do for beauty. But this is stupid as fuck. What are you doing? You know what I mean? And like, I just got to be honest with you. Then she's just like, at one point, she's just like, you hear the stomach because the worm is like fucking with you. So you hear the, oh, wow. And you're just like, on top of getting your shit sewed, like your eyelids sewed shut almost, like your stomach is going crazy and you're probably going to shit your pants. So like, I'm just like, this is going to get gruesome and dirty in all the weird ways. And I was highly entertained in that point, but also very cringed. I was very cringed. And I like multiple times in this movie, I was just like, what the fuck am I watching? At this point, when I'm watching, I'm just like, yeah. Get that eyelid going. Then you go, wow. And then you're like, oh, if I see shit, I'm turning this off, you know, but thank God there was no shit. Thank you very much. Because they showed us ass, pussy, dicks, and ear and eyelashes. And last thing we needed was shit. All right. And this is going to be ridiculous. But this was amazing. I was like, there's the gore. This is fantastic. Hopefully it's all uphill from here. And it kind of plateaued. But we'll get to that.
Yeah, we'll definitely get on that part. But that shit was, if it makes you feel funny, okay, Sabrina,
It did.
when the needle went in there, okay, did you? You're a creep. You like some weird shit. How'd that make you feel? Did you grab an eye? Did you sit there like Mr. Malave and go, yeah, do it again, stick her in the fucking eye?
I like covered the bottom of my eye and I just went, oh fuck. And then I leaned in a little closer to the screen.
Have you ever wore like artificial eye like what was it, eyelashes?
Yeah.
All right. Have you like ripped them off? Isn't that like glue?
It's glue, but like I just put makeup remover on it and it comes right off.
All right, there's no
No,
need.
I'm not
have you
pulling
worn
them
a
off my eye.
Have you worn a glass eye?
No, because I have both my eyes.
Ah, yes. But
well,
have you?
well, there goes my follow-up question.
A glass eye? No, can't say I have.
I like
Not exactly in my wardrobe.
I do like that that the doctor or the surgeon, whatever the fuck you want to call him, was before he did anything, says like, "Hey, after this, maybe we can get you a nice pair of tits." Like,
And then they zoom in on the cleavage from the nurse.
It's great
But then
there.
her bad eye, it was crazy.
then you see the bad eye, and you're like,
It's like,
oh,
yeah, maybe he's good at tits, but eye work, you better be careful.
yeah.
I mean,
that seems
tits
rough.
are the eyes of the torso.
Of the chest, really.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's true. I don't know. I feel like that was probably the squirm scene for me. Like I was like, oh no, I'm not fucking with
Yes.
that. I couldn't do that. Big Money. How did you
awful,
feel
but I
about that
didn't wanna
eyes?
look away.
Did you like that scene?
With gore, I like gore, but I have a thing for not a good thing. Like I have an aversion for things that are related to eyes and nails and needles. So those three things are not my cup of tea. So when I see them, I cringe beyond beyond anything you can imagine. Like I can see disembowelment and I'll be chill, but as soon as I see even the slightest touch of the eye or the slightest pull of a nail, I'm done. Like that, some like scenes in movies where they pull nails, I'm even if they don't show it, even if I'm imagining it, I'm going like, no, stop. So this scene had needles. This scene had eyeballs. So I actually had to turn my phone away because I couldn't see it. Like it was that bad for me.
Wow.
For me.
Gotcha.
And
Yeah.
it's because it touches on something that at least for if it's not that bad for you, like it's gruesome and you'll be like, ugh. But for me, like those are my three like aversions, and this movie hit two of the three. So yay.
Yeah, that definitely hit the mark in a sense of being like, this is what they were talking about when they're saying the whole Bridgerton meets the substance. You know, this is where the gruesomeness comes into play. And though it was very just not fun to watch, I kind of found myself enjoying it a little bit at the same time because this is what I'm here for, right? This is why we get these movies. This is why we're supposed to talk about this shit, because we got the balls to watch this shit and to say, fuck yeah, that shit was wild. That shit was glorious. And it was good gore. And we'll get there at another time too. But let's keep on moving from here. Okay, so what do you guys think about the dress that she got when she ended up getting her dress? Mr. Malave, how did you feel about that dress?
It was custom made. Good job. It was nice. It was green. Whatever.
I thought it was fucking ugly.
It was.
Yes.
I mean, they're all ugly, really. Like
I thought the same thing.
it was like hideous.
No, there were some dresses there that were not even
Cinderella's
Cinderella's
dress
that were
was
nice.
nice.
Like hers
It was kind of funny. Doug actually, like, we saw the dress and he just went, wow, that is an ugly stepsister dress.
Yeah.
And I'm
I
like,
mean, it's meant to be.
yeah. I mean,
Yes.
if they're trying to make her look beautiful and whatever, I mean, it made her tits look awesome. But the rest of her, I'm just like,
after the
what
guy
is this fucking
cupped them.
color? I mean, you gotta once when you put a
Bundled
bra
her to
on,
death.
you put a fucking corset on. You gotta lift the girls into place, okay?
Yeah, well, she can do that. He just wanted a whole cup of feel.
Oh, he was
She's
just-
super innocent. She didn't know what that fucking would do.
And neither did Cinderella when he placed a big old kiss on her, right?
Listen, that stepmom was
Oh,
like, yeah,
she
she's a
knew.
whore anyway.
She knew.
I
That's why
guarantee. Yeah, that stepmom told him exactly why she only needed one dress. So he
Yeah,
just
you
went,
like-
oh, if she's a whore, I'll fucking go get my shot. You
Pretty
know,
much.
He's a disgusting old man.
So you like fucking stable boys.
You like the stable boys?
Well, I'm a stable guy.
yeah, I'm a stable guy. I make dresses.
Make a stable income.
I don't know. It stays stable. That's what
like
I'm
to
talking
make,
about.
I like to make the dresses, bitch. And
Yeah,
that's
what
what's
disgusting
crazy.
freak.
That dress was ugly as fuck. Oh
Yes.
my god, I did not like it. I didn't like the color. I didn't like where the
The
flower
green and the
placement
yellow.
was.
I'm like, what
Yeah.
the fuck?
And the flower placement too. Like I'm starting to become fucking best, dress for the impress or whatever the stupid fucking show is called. And I'm watching it going like, I don't like it. Like I'm not feeling it. If I was the prince, I'd be like, that shit's ugly. What are you doing
Kinda
here?
fucked up.
He wasn't
Yeah, it is
staring
kinda
at the
fucked
dress.
up.
He was staring at the tits.
He was staring at them titties though.
I mean-
They knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They knew what they were
He
doing.
wasn't staring at the dress.
Man, he's good at what he does.
I bet you if you looked at him and you said, "Hey, buddy, what color dress is she?" wearing?"
Yeah.
He'd be like, "Huh?"
Yellow.
Boobs. She's got. Well, the friend actually even says it. Look at those
Yeah.
tits.
Yeah. And that's exactly what they looked at the rest of the time. They didn't notice what color her fucking
Didn't
dress
give
was.
two fucks.
Nope.
Could give a shit what she looked like, and we.
And they just plopped the damn fucking wig on top of her once they saw her.
Well, the reason
hair was getting-
they plop the
Listen.
wig is because her hair's coming out, which I'm going to have to assume that's because of the tapeworm.
Yes,
Yes,
because you're not
yes.
going to get any
Yeah,
nutrition.
that's
Your
what
body
it
is
was.
literally eating itself.
Correct.
Your hair's going to fall out. Your skin's going to look dull and gray. You're going to turn to flesh and bones. It's literally nothing. Okay, don't do it.
But here's the
Don't.
thing:
Or
when she-
Gollum.
or Gollum.
She's turning into Gollum.
She was
She's
turning
turning
into Gollum.
This is Gollum's origin.
But how
story.
about this? I will say this: when when she gets the brace on her nose removed, she's very pretty.
She's cute. Yeah.
Very, very
Yes.
pretty. When she puts the wig on,
But she
still
was cute
very
before,
pretty.
too.
She was. She's prettier. With the it was the nose. I'll tell you. You take the brace off it, like it is a completely different person, which is the actual actress, without makeup on like that. So she looked gorgeous. I thought she looked very pretty. She didn't need the. I mean, I get why she needs the wig, but she doesn't. If she wasn't losing her hair, she would have been perfectly fine the way she was.
If she didn't
She looked
eat the
very beautiful.
tapeworm or leave it in there as long as she did, 'cause
Oh,
she didn't have
man.
to.
She left it in there for a very,
Way too
very
long.
long
Way too
time.
long. She said her goal weight, and I'm like, "What's your goal weight? 2 pounds?
Yeah, I
Fucking
don't
get it out of
fuck
there."
what she
That's
was
just-
thinking. But I
take
wanna,
a shit.
I wanna
The
continue.
minute you see it move for the first time, get it the fuck out of here.
Oh my god, that shit's fucking. That was so gross. And then you get to see it moving and whatnot, which it's like, oh, that's just nasty. But I want to move to a very important scene. And Big Money, I want you to touch a little bit on this scene as well, because I thought it was really interesting. And it's like, pretty much Cinderella is like, when are we going to bury my father? He's sitting there, he's rotting. When are we going to bury it? And the mother's just like, when we have the money. Well, you can go and do this and you can do that, but you can't even give this man a burial. And then, she takes the dress and she goes and which is so gross. She's laying on the dress on her father.
Yeah.
And then the mother appears. And this is the Cinderella story.
Right.
This is where the magic, as you
Yes.
said, Big Money, the magic comes into play. Paint us this picture. Paint us what occurs and tell me what you thought.
So let me explain for the audience at home. So basically, we have the scene where this ugly stepsisters, in this case, just the ugly stepsister, Elvira, rips Cinderella's dress, and she takes it because she's defeated. There is no hope for her. She thinks like she's done with the opportunity of leaving this crazy stepmother, this crazy family, and have an opportunity to move on. She's crying because not only is this happening, her father is also dead and rotting with a bunch of worms in there. She's realizing, I can't bury my father. I can't do anything. Like, what the hell? This is the worst life ever. All of a sudden, her dead mother basically shows up. And she shows up as a fairy, like a fairy godmother / angel type of person, where she basically acts like the fairy godmother from the fairy tale. And then the worms that were eating her father then take the dress and restitch it together with the power of like magic and love and whatnot. Now,
The
I
silkworms.
loved this. The silkworms, yes. The reason I love this is because if you read most fairy tales, try reading some of, if you have, I have in my collection I forgot to bring it, but I have my collection of the Grimm fairy tales, the original ones here, and I love fairy tales. I love folklore. That's actually my area of expertise, academically speaking, and world religions. The thing is, most of these fairy tales start off very realistic in many senses. It's only when you get the switch of something supernatural happening that just invades the story and then quickly leaves, so the story can progress. But uh, what I love about it is that the stories so far have been mostly, even though it's in a fake land, it's not a real place. It's very realistic in its portrayal of everything, right? But all of a sudden, you hit that fairy godmother scene, you hit the silkworms, and you're in fairy tale land, and you realize, yes, this is the ugly stepsister's point of view, but you haven't seen what Cinderella has been seeing until now, and now you realize, no, this is still the same fairy tale, and it's going to end the same way.
Mhm.
And I thought that at that moment, this movie turned from a nice movie that was hitting great beats, and it turned into a magnificent film for me because it said, no, no, we're looking at different perspectives, but we're keeping true to the story. And I love that.
Yeah, I have to agree. I actually really liked that scene as well. Thought it was kind of funny with the silkworms that they were putting together the dress, just like
Yes.
like the mice and whatnot from the
The
Disney
fairy god
Cinderella.
silkworms.
The fairy god silkworms. Like, we're gonna
We
eat
even
your
get-
father
we
and
even-
help you out.
We even do get a little shout out to a rat afterwards.
We do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do.
yeah.
She's
And you see
she's
the
holding it.
little pumpkin.
Yes.
Yes, we get the pumpkin as well. I actually like that, like they're hitting those strides of the story, of the Disney story as well. So they're like, hey,
Like, I don't need
we
to
know
see
we're
it because
coming.
I've seen it a million times
Yeah.
before, but here's just a little shadow so you know that it
It's a
happened.
little shout out,
Yeah, thank you.
little paying that
Because
homage
it's
and that
not
respect.
her story. It's her story, but it's not her story. you know?
Correct.
Right.
Right. And I
don't
really
need to focus on it.
appreciated that. I appreciate that them doing something like that as a viewer watching it.
Yeah.
Let's get to the actual ball now, though. Okay, so we know Cinderella's coming. All right, she's on her way. We don't get to see the pumpkin, which, damn, I wish I would have got a chance to see that, but
The budget,
Nope.
man. The
I
budget.
don't want to.
it's
I've seen it a million
okay.
times. I don't need to see it.
I just would have liked to see how they would have did it, but it's okay because just like Big Money said, it's not her story. We don't need to see the pumpkin. We see a pumpkin later, but this is now the story of the stepsister. Mr. Malabe, here is a really good one for you. Okay. They're all coming out, right? And they're going to see
Yes.
the prince. They're pretty much, they curtsy and they show to everybody out there, but they're all focused on the prince. But Elvira, she makes doggy sounds.
And she was like literally walking.
Don't forget
like
the
that,
paws.
too, with
The paws. Don't
Show
forget
me
the
your
paws.
paws.
Show me
Yeah.
your paws.
Show me your paws.
Show me your paws. Sabrina, the paws and the doggy sound. Do you think that might have got him? Do you think that maybe got the prince a little happy and is go lucky?
I don't think that's what got the prince. I think that's definitely what got the creepy old men because
Yeah.
you realize as she's walking around, the prince is just kind of bored with everything until she approaches him and his friends say, like, look at those tits. It's kind of like he's just kind of fed up. He's like, I'm not going to find anything here. This is stupid. All these girls are just parading around. Like, I'm not looking for that sort of thing, whatever. But you notice when she does her little ruff, ruff, and she's got the little paws, you see all the creepy old men around the room. Their eyes go up and they're looking.
Mhm.
And I don't remember if it's the teacher or the mom that's saying like, "Oh yeah, she's grade A. She's very obedient." And it's like, okay, you're literally just like carting her around for these old men to say,
Oh,
"Oh,
yeah.
an obedient little dog for me." It's
Mhm.
Exactly.
like,
Yeah,
it's
that's
so
exactly what they
uncomfortable.
were
It's
doing.
so cringe to watch the little paws and
Mhm.
her barking. I'm like, stop.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It definitely is.
It's
a weird
not for the
feeling to it.
prince.
It's definitely
It's
a
not
weird
for the
two
prince.
seconds away from doing a little lick and then like sway on
yeah.
her
I
head.
was waiting for that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
Well, Mr. Malabe, though, with the little paws and a little ruffin, would you, if you were at the party, would you go, hey, this girl's?
No, I would think she has something wrong with her. You know what I mean? I would
You would think she has something
maybe
wrong with
she's
her?
Like, maybe she's like a little mentally challenged a little bit, or maybe she's just trying too hard. It's like, please, can you just? That's a little weird. Are you on some drugs or something? Because if you have more of that coke that they put on your eyelids, like give me some, because this party's dull. You know what I mean? And then we can trip out together. You
This
know,
party
so
is
like.
wacky.
That's how I would feel. Like, honestly, if I was a prince, I was looking, I was like, is this chick on drugs? But those titties are nice. Listen, come, doggy, come here. Hey, sit. Where's the drugs? But no, seriously, it's kind of weird. It was kind of weird. I was like, yo, this woman, she's almost like desperate. It's just like, it's disgusting, really.
Sort of.
It's kind of disgusting.
Yeah,
She
sort
is
of.
desperate.
She's very
I was
desperate.
just like, and then while she's doing all that, you hear the and of the tapeworm, and you're just like, yo, this bitch is dying inside. Like, stop acting like a dog and seek help.
Which is
Take the
pretty
antidote
cool.
like you should
But
have
you
forever
know,
ago.
there is. So I've always said this, and I try to teach this to my students when I show them in history. Like, for example, Elizabeth I and Mary Tudor's like thing about shaving their forehead, right? So when they do that, they go like, "Oh my God, Mister, that's so ridiculous." I go like, "What? As ridiculous as buying pants with holes in them?" You know, fashion and the things that are in society are usually become really passe really quickly. So, like, doing something like a little doggy thing like that, I'm pretty sure I'm not an expert in royal courtship from different eras, but I'm pretty sure at some point somebody did something like that. Just like, for example, if we were to see even this year, when Kanye with his girlfriend went to the awards and she was totally naked, she was trying to do something similar to this doggy thing. So rich people are ridiculous, is all I'm trying to say.
That's a good way to put it. Rich
Ain't that
people
the
are
fact?
absolutely
Rich
ridiculous.
people are ridiculous.
They are really ridiculous. And I want to jump into that whole with the tapeworm, like Miss Malava, like you were saying with the whole making all those noises.
Yeah,
now I'm
the
like, now
growling.
keep in mind the prince obviously chooses her to dance with. He has to do a dance with somebody, chooses her. She's got nice
It was
tits.
the tits.
You know, all right, you got some little titties. Let me go. Let's have a dance. And again, she's a very good dancer. That's one thing we know. She can boogie. Okay.
Not to interject too much, but that was literally the
only.
only time. Her being face to face with him was literally the only time he looked at her face and said she was beautiful.
That's right. That's very true. But remember, he also said he wouldn't hit it either. He doesn't recognize her, but
Well,
regardless.
because he doesn't know it's her.
Yes, he doesn't know it's her. And that's the whole point, that he doesn't know it's her. He said he would never stick it in her. But now he's like, I'm sticking between them titties right there. He likes to move it. She likes to dance. Let's see what they got. And I got to tell you, that one scene where she's at that moment, like she's like, I got him. Got him. This is great. All I got to do is do this dance. His eyes are locked on me. Boobs. But, you know, at that moment, she won. She has done it. She has the victory.
She feels the success roll in.
Yes. And which I also really, really thought was funny was you're still hearing Mr. Malave said that tapeworm. I'm laughing in my head thinking, I think she's going to fart. Like, that'd be really funny.
I'm like, yo, we're going to get a shitted dress.
Like, she's
we're going to get it.
all over the place. But
See, you say that. I was hoping we were going to get alien chest burster, but more like her intestines. So I was thinking, she's going to be dancing with the prince, and then her intestines were just going to explode all over.
Yeah, they were getting really close, and I was like, she's going to cough up blood right in his face.
I
right
legit was
right
like,
fucking
something's
now.
going to happen. Something's going to happen. And it's going to be right here, her intestines with this fucking worm. It's going to come to roost.
oh my God.
And it didn't. And I was upset.
It didn't.
I was highly.
It didn't. I have to agree. I was hoping for a chest burster scene, but we didn't get a chest burster scene because Cinderella shows up, okay? And she has an aura around her. Wow, does she have the aura going around her? She got a little veil blocking her face, which is pretty funny too, that she has to, hide her face from this. And
The prince literally said, ooh, shiny thing.
Yes.
I like mystery. And then just fucking dipped.
oh, he dipped hard on her. I felt bad for her at that moment too, because I was like,
yeah.
yo, what the fuck, bro? Like, what? Like, you dance when it's like, oh, like Sabrina just said, shiny. Hey, what's
You
that?
just see like the camera pan into her face and her eyes are getting like weepy and bloodshot. And I was like, and here it is.
Here comes
Here's the downfall.
part. This is where
Yeah.
it gets good, because that moment, then you start getting that. She takes off running. She's all upset. But she's hurting inside because something's in her that's hungry, and she needs to feed it, but she can't feed it right now. And then she pukes, and big money. She pukes. Okay. throws up. See, he's hearing it. It's right
He's
now. It's
even-
in,
yeah.
it's in his
He's
throat.
gagging right now.
It's his throat right now. She pukes up a bunch of fucking xenomorph eggs. She is now their queen.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
Oh, that was disgusting. I went like, ugh, ugh. I was even gagging right now, because I went when she just like coughed up black. She didn't even cough up blood. She coughed black goo, like, and in that black goo, you just saw all the eggs. And granted, we already saw one of those tapeworm eggs. So when she just blah, and then you see like a bunch of them, you go like, oh, like it was smart, because just with that little spit, shit is going downhill really fast.
She's
Because
infested.
you already saw the signs. She's infested. Like I was expecting like a bunch of worms just to start popping out of her. Because you were like, oh my god, look at all those fucking eggs. Like she's probably like hatching like 1 billion of them inside her, which didn't happen, but that's what I thought for a moment.
She even
it's so
tells
gross.
the finishing school teacher when she rushes in, she goes, "I'm dying." And she
Yes.
goes, "You got to get back out there. There's a lot of wealthy men."
Yeah.
It's like-
eyes on the prize, sweetheart.
She's literally saying, "I'm dying," and this teacher is just like, "Die later. You've got shit to do."
Yeah,
Okay.
get out there, bitch. It's time to go get
They're
yourself
gonna
a
leave
man.
you here on the floor if you don't get money.
I was hoping she would throw up like actual worms. So when I saw the
Yeah.
eggs, I was like, "That's uncomfy," and she's boned. But you know what?
I mean, she did it afterwards.
Oh,
There was a bunch
yeah.
of worms throwing
That
up
part
afterwards.
was-
after
yeah, that
they
was
were pulling.
later.
Oh, that was so gross.
later.
But I will say, when she goes back in and the prince is dancing with Cinderella, he dips her and the veil comes off and she sees her face and they lock eyes at that
Yep.
moment. And at that moment,
It's almost like Kill Bill vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it's at that moment she's like, this fucking bitch.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, and right from there, I mean, she's like, I gotta go. She takes off the whole, midnight thing.
Bong. Yeah.
Bong.
midnight.
We get
Come
back to
back.
the
Let
house.
me lightly jog after you.
Yes, he very lightly, like he gave a shit. But
I was like, "Oh, okay."
how about so
Let's go back
again?
to
We
Big
know
Tits
again.
McGee.
We know the whole Cinderella thing. We know that the slipper falls off. We're not going to get into that because that plays a factor. But we
It
know
did.
you know
It's-
the
we know what
story.
happens. It's
We
not
know the
her
story.
Yeah.
It's what happens when she goes back to the house and she
Jesus.
grabs the fucking meat cleaver and she's going to try to kill her. She's like, I'm killing Agnes right
I'm
now.
killing that
Cinderella's
bitch.
going down because she's pissed. She's like, you fucking took him from me, and then trying to fucking chop her up. Really amazing fucking moment that's the moment of snapping. Like, she's had
yeah.
all this shit's going down. She got her fucking nose broken to be fixed. She got fucking these needles going through her fucking
Yep.
eyes. All
has a
this shit.
tapeworm
There's a
inside of her.
tapeworm in her just to fucking get this one guy that her mother wants the money, but she wants the true love. And then this bitch shows up and she lost that man. Oh, what a fucking night. She goes to kill her. Nothing comes out of it because it's just ridiculous. But she gets the other slipper.
Oh yeah.
And then
Can,
she
can we pause for just a
Yep.
moment? Because
Go.
there's one thing. As she's wrestling her on the ground with the fucking meat cleaver, and the mom walks in, drunk as shit with this other younger guy, who she's just like, "What kind of secrets are you girls keeping from me?"
Eh,
And she just says, "Just go to your room. Just go to bed. Just go to bed." I'm sitting there going, I would have loved it more if the mom opened the door and just said, "Play nice," and then shut the door.
that would have been really funny.
Because
actually.
her pretending to give a shit is less annoying than her actually not giving a shit.
Yeah. She should have just opened the door and just been
I
like,
think that was the point.
Just open the door.
Yeah, right.
Close.
yeah, like she sees the meat cleaver, she sees what's going
Yeah.
on, she just doesn't care. She goes, "No, that's actually what you
Go to
should
bed.
do.
You're ruining my date with this much younger
This,
man
this is what
Yeah,
you
yeah,
should
yeah.
do."
who's very wealthy,
Yeah, a very younger man too.
young wealthy buck.
But
She won.
so she gets this. She takes the other slipper. We find out that, of course, just like the story, Prince has the slipper. He's looking to find out whose foot fits the slipper. She puts the slipper on her foot, but it doesn't fit.
Of course not.
So she's like, "Shit,
It never will.
it doesn't fit. What am I going to do to make this fit?"
Here's an idea. Let's chop my toes off.
She thinks about it, and then she does it. Sabrina,
The whole
she
movie
chops
poster.
the fucking toes off.
the whole movie poster gave this away, so I knew it was coming.
Well, the story gave it away too. This was one of the biggest things of the story.
Before I could even see like the trailer, I saw the movie poster, and I was like, I'm scrolling through my forums, and I see this movie poster, and I go, "Ugly Stepsister with blood on the shoe." Oh, I know where this is going. And then I watched the trailer, and I go, "Yep." So I already knew this was coming. I was waiting for it. The minute I see her with the shoe, and she takes that meat cleaver, and she's thinking about it, she's really thinking about it, and then she finally like. Just kind of like cuts them a little.
bit.
I'm like, dude, just fully fucking commit. Like, what? Like, are you?
Cleaver,
are you good?
What are you doing?
Are you still thinking about it?
Yeah.
And then when you see her put her foot up on the footstool and grab the fucking mallet to, like, really hit this meat cleaver,
Like a
I'm just
chisel. Like that's all she
oh, what the
knows
fuck?
from her nose. You know.
Like, instead of just like, I don't know, taking an extra second to think about it. She's so wrapped up in her own brain. Of
Yeah.
This is what needs to be done, and she just fucking does it. She just does it, but she does it so poorly that they don't even come off. So seeing the toes hang there,
Oh my god.
No,
I just looked at it and said, "This is
my favorite.
written
My
all over it. This is
favorite.
Matt."
My favorite line. So I didn't see the poster, but I knew the story, the original Grimm story, and I was like, "Oh, I know what's going to happen now." Like it spoiled it for me in that way. Like I read the original one. I'm hipster type vibes. But what sold it for me even better was the line from the mother when she starts screaming and they come in and they go like, "Sweetie, you chopped off the wrong foot." And I went like, "Holy shit."
I
was wild.
laughed so fucking loud, you guys. When I saw her chop off her toes, I was like, well, what's done is done. And the mom comes out and she goes, "Oh, sweetie, you got the wrong foot.
Yeah.
He has the other shoe."
Yeah.
I just fucking howled.
Yeah.
I hollered. I did my witch cackle. I was all over that shit. I was so tickled pink that I was like, "You still fucked."
Yeah.
You're
yeah.
still fucked.
And
So she
even
chops
so,
off the other foot.
when she's yelling at Agnes and she's like trying to kill her, even the mom says like, "You had your turn. Give it up."
Yeah. Just done.
Until
You're
she
done. Give
sees
up.
her chop off her own toes, where she's like, "I'm not giving up," and she goes, "Oh, you really want this last shot? Well, you got the
Yeah.
wrong foot."
Mhm.
I'm like, "This is fucking wild."
So let's figure this out. I'll help you.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then
just
she gives her
nonchalantly
that
just rips her,
fucking
just chops her toes off.
Yeah.
She
And then
gives her
chops off the
codeine
other one.
to fall
And
asleep.
you got two
then just
little
fucking-
nuts.
Yeah. She chopped
got
off
two
her other
nubs.
foot.
She finishes the job.
Not thinking that she needs toes to walk.
Yeah.
No.
She didn't think about that part. She helps her out, quote unquote, helps her out, chops off her other fucking toes, tapes her up, I guess. You could bandages her up and shit. She knocked her completely out. So, wow. Very nice, mommy. And
Lots of
then,
codeine.
yeah, lots of codeine for that one. Puts her to bed. She wakes up. Then the prince is here. And this goes by very quickly. This
Very
ending is very
The next
fast.
day.
The sounding of the trumpets.
It's like
wakes her up.
he's fucking
No time
here.
to think. Wakey, wakey. The prince is here.
Prince is
Yep.
here. Time to put a shoe on. Well, unfortunately, girl, you can't walk because you ain't got no toes. And then she falls down the stairs. Hilarious, by the way.
Knocks
And
the wig off.
Knocks the wig off. Knocks her
Just
tooth out.
everything.
Knocks
Cracks
out
the
her
The
tooth.
teeth
Yeah.
out. Yeah.
Knocks her teeth out. Cracks another tooth. She looks terrible.
And then the nub
going
is just
full
like
babushka.
screeching on the floor.
Oh, it's so. It's
She just looks like my process.
Yes.
She's trying to crawl away to
She's
her
1,000% Gollum at that point. Like it's
But
all
this is where
fucked
I
up.
see. This is where I see some elements of like remnants of like the substance, right? At the end, when they make that second clone and it's just all nasty, and she's like still going up on stage. This is still my big moment,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
you know. And like, no matter what is happening, I got to see this through because this is what I've been planning for. This is all I know.
She turns into
And-
the stump sister and tries to
Yeah.
make it work.
Yeah, thumpity thump.
Thumpity thump thump thumpity thump thump. Holy fuck, was that hilarious though? Because then it goes right into its. She doesn't even get there in time. She doesn't even
No.
see what happens. Cinderella puts the shoe on. You're the one. Kissy, 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 and she's just
The only thing she
defeated.
sees is Agnes leave with the prince.
That's right.
Yep.
Out
and
the front
she
door.
is
It's
just-
literally what she was dreaming of the whole time
Yeah.
with her in the blue
Yes.
dress. It was Cinderella in the blue dress.
Right.
Yep.
The story never changes.
No,
That's the
never
thing. The
changed.
story never changed. It's just a little more gruesome into it and her side of things. And now she's defeated. She's done. She lost again. It's over. But there's still something to take care of. Her sister comes over and says, listen, it is what it is. You lost. It's over. You got that antidote. Let's just end this. Get this over with. And you could tell she's done.
The sister even says, she's like,
defeated.
I bet you're starving.
Yeah, I bet you're
It's
starving.
time for the antidote.
Let's do
It's
this.
like, yes, thank you.
She gives her the antidote right on the tongue, blah, blah, blah. And wow. Oh, boy. Now, this is what I call a little bit of gruesome shit here. Some real body horror coming here. Oh, fuck. She is just throwing up face huggers. Like, oh, wow. So many worms. So many fucking worms come out. And then the big motherfucking she's puking up some shit, and then she's like starts choking.
You think
on
she's
shit.
like choking to death?
Yeah.
The way this actress portrays it, she's magnificent in it.
She
The
did.
way her eyes were bugging out of her head and her face is turning red. And I know some of that is like, actual makeup department, but like the way she conveys her face, it looks like she's actually dying. Like she's choking to death in front of us.
Mhm.
Yep.
It's incredible, this actress.
And then a little wormy come out of her mouth. Little worm comes out. Little pop out, say hello. It's hey, howdy do's there,
Hello,
people.
my baby. Hello,
Hey,
my
I'm just a
darling.
little
Hello,
one.
my right
I'm just a little one.
He came out. That little worm came out. Hi, everyone.
Howdy, how everyone.
Literally just came out. I'm gonna eat you too, you little bitch. Like and then the sister grabs it and she starts yanking that motherfucker,
Just pulling that shit.
But that fucking worm was not no little worm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a big
Even
worm.
got the bowl of boiled milk to kill them as they came out. Crazy.
Disgusting.
Sister knew.
The sister got this shit. She was her savior. Okay,
She was
there
her
for
fairy
her.
godmother.
Yes, she was her
Not the
fairy
mother,
godmother.
like she claimed to be.
She was
The
there for
sister
her.
was.
And oh man, pulling that shit out, and that was a long scene. They took their time with that scene. You got to see the facial expression.
Yep.
You got to see the fucking worm. You saw the sister's facial expression of, oh my God, this is still kind of going right now.
Jesus. She's like pulling it all her might.
Oh, it was gross, but it was done so well too.
Yeah.
Because of the acting in it. It was done so well. Big Money, the worm getting pulled, how did that make you feel?
So, like I mentioned, I only have like those three aversions in horror. So as I was looking at it, I was going like, "Oh, this is so fucked up," but I was just like, my eyes were glued. I needed to see how big it was. I just keep pull it. And she kept going and going and going and going and going. I was half expecting, her to just like deflate, because I thought that worm was just
that's how she was
everywhere in
gonna
her
go
body. Because, me too. So I was just like, I was happy. I went like, this was a perfect gory ending to this film.
Yeah, I agree. Sabrina, how did you feel while that worm just getting yanked out? Like she's pulling, you gotta think pulling her intestines and shit.
Yeah.
For real.
It was as
like,
long as the intestines.
That thing is so stuck in her, it could probably wrap around her small and large intestine twice, considering all those eggs that came out and how long this thing was. But just like Eddie, my eyes were glued to that screen. The whole room was quiet. I was like up on my knees, like doing one of these, holding my face up, just dead staring at this screen. Like, this is disgusting, but I can't look away. It's like watching a car fire, but with a giant worm inside of somebody. Not comparable, but the same.
Yeah, that was. I mean, me too.
There was fire there.
I was glued.
Yeah,
I was glued to it. I thought it was terrible,
Yeah.
but it was glued at the same time. Mr. Malavi, were you glued at this point too?
I definitely was. It was almost like this whole entire movie. I'm just like, all right, there was little moments, but I felt like they were quick and then done with. You know what I mean? Besides, like the sewing of the eyelids, but like I'm like, all right, here we fucking go. You know what I mean? Like we saw some toes, we saw this, but I'm like, yes, projectile vomiting. There's a worm. Let's go. Keep pulling. I was like, you, Big Money. I was just like, all right, is it 10 feet? Is it 15 feet? No one knows. Is it going to stop? Is she just going to finally get to the end and is just going to rip out like the rest of her stomach? And that's how the movie ends. Like, give me that, please. And then it happened, and then afterwards she just like threw up a couple more, and it's just like, there you go, and then scene. And I was just like, all right, if you're gonna end it, this is the perfect time because I don't need to see anything else.
Yeah, and the way the movie ends is in a triumphant way, per se, to say it
like relief.
nicely. It is a relief moment because the sister's like
a happy ending of sorts.
It is I would say it definitely has a happy ending to it due to the fact of her sister that's like, we got to get out of here. Like
after she goes full babushka.
She's like, we're fucking done. Like she goes into the mother's room to go take some fucking jewelry, some money and whatnot. And then she looks over.
Mom is also dealing with her own worm.
Mom's
a blowy.
Mom is holding a full cock in her hand.
Oh, yeah.
And just looks at her, looks at the dick, looks back at her, looks at the dick, and then proceeds to give it some fellatio. Now, we don't see her do it. We see the head go down, but we do not see it actually in action. We don't see, it's not porn. We don't see it actually happen. But I feel like that was the mom's moment of just being like, I'm not going to stop you. This is where our lives are right now. This is where I'm at. Do what you got to do. And
it's almost like her one humane thing to do for her daughters is to know that she won't provide for them properly. So she's like, get out of here.
Yeah.
Go make something of yourself.
Go do what you got to do.
I'm going
to deal with this.
I'm about to go handle this right now, though.
Yeah.
And
you guys wrestle the worm. Now it's my
sorry.
She's going to go wrestle the worm herself, which was, again, a hilarious scene.
It's an Alaskan bullworm.
Holy mole. That was indeed what it was, because it was fucking monstrous. I'm not going to lie. Good for that man, if that really was him or was prosthetics, but I don't know. I'm not going to try to find out. But here's the thing. I like this scene that comes afterwards, because that the sister takes Elvira, and Elvira looks like Quasimodo at this point. We're in a whole new different fucking Disney movie now. And she gets her up on the fucking horse and they fucking leave. It's like, we're done.
Right off into the woods.
We're riding off. We're gone. We got some fucking jewelry, got some money, and it's time to fucking go.
And you see like the horse.
And the film ends slutted.
The film ends with slutted.
Slutted.
Which was very funny as well. Before
it ends with the slutette giving a blowy.
Yeah, she was giving a blowy indeed.
They're all sluts.
One thing I wanna mention before we get into final reactions. The prince did say he was looking for a virgin. Unfortunately, he's going to be very disappointed. Kind of gave me Ace Ventura when Nature Call vibes.
Yeah. I think she's saying she's not a virgin.
They could tell.
You can see that. They could tell.
Yeah, they could tell.
It's the thing of like, by the end, I'm like, wow, nobody got a happy ending except for the little sister who got to leave it all behind.
Yeah.
Nobody got that.
Not even the
ending.
worm.
Sure.
Because the crow went to go eat the worm.
Dead. The worm is dead.
Which would have been fucking funny to see where that was going to
go.
go.
Like the prince doesn't get a virgin.
That guy
Agnes doesn't get to marry. The guy with the mom.
Yeah, the guy with the mom. He got
a happy ending. He got a bluey. That shit was hilarious. So I think that's very funny that the prince does constantly mention about having a virgin.
Yeah.
And yet
it's like,
he
I want a
chooses
virgin
Cinderella.
bride. He doesn't get it. Agnes doesn't get to marry the guy that she loves.
Yeah.
Even though she absolutely could have in my mind.
Sure.
Because if you think about it, like, the mom wasn't there to care for her. She didn't give a shit what she did. If she left in the middle of the night with the stable boy, do you think she would go find her?
No.
Exactly.
No.
So at this point, it was just marrying for status. And it's like, okay, yeah, that's the only thing holding you back is you and your status, which was nothing because your dad was marrying for money anyway. But,
right.
Bad endings all around except for that guy with
well,
the mom.
back in those days, names meant way more than money, actually. Money was important for a lot of things, but as always, but your name could get you around somewhat. Like, look at how Agnes, when she was not selling, but when the horseman from the castle came and she just gave off her full list of names, and he went, "Oh yeah, you're
it was
most
well
definitely
respected.
invited."
It was just the fact of like, that is literally the only thing stopping her from getting out of that situation, not having to be a part of it. That was it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just the namesake.
Pretty much.
Enjoy.
So, all right, Big Money. Real quick, your feelings of that ending. Were you satisfied with that ending?
I was satisfied. I thought it was a great ending. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually really like that ending too. I just feel like, in that case, they won. She gets a win, and not a good one, like in a sense, like she's all fucking fucked up and got no
A win is a
toes.
win.
She's all fucked up, but just like Sabrina just said, sometimes you got to take the W, and a win is a win at some points. And they got away from the biggest problem, which was the mother. That was the problem. So maybe down the line, listen, she had braces. She might be able to get some new toes. I don't know. Get a new fucking foot. I don't give a shit. But I feel that was the...
Maybe they can meet with the doctor.
Maybe they could go meet up with the doctor and get some tits. Who the hell knows what they got? They got no money.
Or
They
wanna
could
trade
just
tits
sniff
for
coke
toes?
until they forget that they don't have toes.
That's possible. But I feel like
they could
this,
find
that
a cart somewhere in the woods that swaps tits for toes.
maybe they run into Robin Hood. I don't know where this is going to go.
You
It
ever
might
hear
be a
of Toys for
completely
Tots?
different one. Toys for Tots.
Get
Now
ready
it's
for
tit-
tits for toes.
Tits for toes.
Tits
We're
for
switching
toes,
them out.
baby.
Well, all right. So
Some poor unfortunate girls.
We have now come to the ending of this film. And there's a lot going on in this movie. And there's a lot of stuff going on with these characters. One in particular, our main character, Elvira. She's got a lot of issues. And as we know, when you have a lot of issues, there's somebody you need to chat with. But in this case, you can't chat with them. But they can, of course, have a seat with you and give you a therapy session.
Therapy, we need some therapy. Therapy, we need some therapy. Call Tommy James 877, move it now. With the prescription pad in hand, he's gonna fix your horror plan. Oh yeah, are you lost in the woods? Or chased by
Okay, everyone, put down your pencils and get ready, get prepared, because it's time for a therapy session. And of course, you already knew what I was going to do. I'm going to choose none other than Elvira as my patient in the film The Ugly Stepsister. So, of course, this is how it goes. I'm going to give a diagnosis, 3 symptoms, and 3 prescriptions to help her, hopefully help her, to be a better person, or maybe at some point, maybe just change your life in general. So I diagnosed her with self-destructive beauty syndrome. I think everybody could agree that that makes perfect sense. Symptoms include compulsive beauty obsession for the D. As we know, she wanted some D, and, well, she didn't get it, but she got some other kind of Ds. Also, unrealistic daydreaming. Way too much daydreaming going on in your life. Time to get your head together. And number 3, thinking mama knows best. I will promise you this. As you can see the ending, your mama does not know best. Now into my prescriptions. Prescription number 1. I call it a reality check with a side of sass. Okay, listen up, sweetie. I know you love your daydreams, but you might want to swap that fantasy novel for a real-world survival kit. That guy's up there in the stars while you're down here probably losing a kidney trying to keep up. You're not going to get the fairy tale ending. Not with Prince Julian, not with anyone. Heck, he'd probably send you a rejection letter for breathing if he could. The only thing you're digging here is your own grave of disappointment. So please, step out of the clouds, take a breather, and save whatever dignity you have left. Trust me, the ground is way more stable than your hopes. Prescription 2, cut the crap. All right, Elvira, let's be real here. You're out here chopping off your toes like it's a spa treatment. I mean, seriously, that's not goth chick, that's life choices gone wrong. I get it, mom issues are tough, but you need to cut the cord, and I don't mean your feet. You ever hear of Gypsy Rose? No? Well, you should have. But we're not turning you into a Netflix documentary, okay? So here's your prescription. Stop making life harder than it already is. No more surgeries, no more toe drama. Get your feet back on the ground, if you could even stand up. And maybe, just maybe, Work on that personality of yours. Because newsflash, nobody's going to care about your toes once you get your act together. And trust me, no one is giving you a high five for extreme self-mutilation. No matter how nice your shoes are. Get it together, Elvira. And prescription 3 chestburster chick, I like to call it. Okay, Elvira. You've officially evolved from sad stepsister to walking parasite queen. Bravo. The prince isn't in your mid-tier cosplay. Boo-hoo. Time to cancel the ball and launch a full-scale xenomorph infestation. Let me explain. Step 1, let's go after mom. She's been dragging you down like wet socks. Feed her to the hive first. Step 2, Cinderella. Give her a face hugger and a reality check. Spoiler, the glass slipper doesn't fit when your ribs are exploding. And step 3, the prince. Leave him for last and make it hurt. A royal snip, if you know what I mean, since he doesn't want to stick it in there. Forget love. You're not royalty. You're a goddamn alien overlord with Ripley rage and a tapeworm flair. Now go forth and breed chaos. And my conclusion, Elvira, you weren't the ugly stepsister. You were just stuck in a horror story disguised as a fairy tale. You cut your toes, lost yourself, and chased a man who wouldn't hit like on you on your best selfie. He wouldn't even, if he had the Tinder, he wouldn't swipe left. He wouldn't know what to do because he didn't like you. But here's the twist. You don't need his crown. You need your spine back. Ditch the prince. Keep your limbs and start your own damn empire. You're not Cinderella. You're the final girl. Now go face hug the fucking world. And
Amen.
That's my therapy session.
Amen.
Wow. That's
You know what?
amazing.
I
Beautiful.
hope you could like send an owl or something and with all of these prescriptions. She really needs it.
Send it with the royal messenger.
It could
I hope-
technically
Yeah,
work.
with the flaccid penis.
Yes.
And with the royal glass zipper.
And with a royal glass zipper. I could definitely get that to her. And hopefully, I mean, she's already fucked. But like I said, if she just accepted the fact that she is now the xenomorph queen, this would be a whole different movie. And
Yeah,
honestly,
yeah.
added bonuses. Who doesn't love a good xenomorph in their movie? I know I do. So, as we know, we watch this film, get a little therapy session, but there's one thing that's it posted right on the fucking poster, mentions it in the trailer. It's talking about gruesomeness. It's talking about there is going to be blood. There's going to be shit going down. Someone's going to have a tapeworm in their stomach, which makes you, as the viewer, sit back and go, this might be glorious. But the real question is, how glorious? How glorious is the gore?
Glorious gore! Glorious, and I won't survive. I won't survive because of glorious gore. And I won't survive. I won't survive.
Yes. Welcome to Glorious Gore. And yes, it is plastered right on the posters. It's glorious, it's gory, it's tapewormy, and it's flaccid penises. And that was the most goriest part of this whole damn movie. All right, I saw too many asses and not enough blood. But I gotta tell you, the blood and the close-ups made this gore glorious. All right, every time you zoom in and you get a needle to the flesh and you hear the pulling of the string, you're like, oh, this is nice, this is glorious. I had it in all of the damn surround sound glory, and I gotta be honest, it was pretty good. It was my favorite part of the movie, on top of getting a damn tapeworm thrown up and then just pulling and pulling. I wanted a little bit more blood in that, I'm not gonna lie, but we still got a tapeworm, a damn tapeworm. And I get it. Norwegians don't have a lot of CGI access, maybe not a lot of money, so we didn't get a lot of that gore. But I got to be honest with you, the sound effects and the body contortion and all their, and it's not my stomach being hungry, it's the tapeworm. killing everything and laying eggs. I'm telling you, it was fucking the shit out of the intestines. I got to be honest with you. And they just created a bunch of damn eggs. But it all in all, guys, listen, I got to be honest. There was blood in the nose, there was crackings of bones, and there was tapeworms just eating everything. And the only thing we needed, like I kept saying it is, was some shit. And honestly, I'm okay with that. But everything else in general, this gore was damn near glorious. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm not getting a nose job. I like my nose the way it is. I like my nose the way it is, and maybe I won't even use worms to fish anymore. But that's a conversation for another day. But stay glorious, stay gory.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Malave. That was indeed some glorious gore right there. And I have to agree. I figured you'd be able to find yourself some glore. You know, I like I mix the words. I put the words together.
That was nice. That was combos.
And that's because I always fuck up the words when I say it. But I failed to watch. Yeah, it is very true. But watching that movie, I thought to myself, I was like, if anyone's gonna be able to pick something, it's got to be Mr. Malave, because there is some shit in this movie, minus the actual shit that you were expecting shit.
There was too much shit. We saw somebody else's
decays. We got a bunch of decay, a bunch of like it just. It was just nasty.
There was nasty.
Every time you know who had it the worst? The father.
He did.
Fucking guy.
The dad had it the worst.
Yeah.
You could have the stable boy make a hole and throw it in there. You know, come on. Let's have some decency. Imagine how this
probably would have fucked it.
Imagine
So
how
just be
the
careful.
damn house.
Yeah.
Imagine how the damn house smelled. They're just like, we just don't go in the dining room and eat anything anymore. Like, all right, no doubt. Yeah,
bro, she can't afford to give him a proper
about
burial, but she can afford to have somebody come in and give him blowies while he's down there, still decaying.
That's just nasty.
We got somebody who's speaking French.
That's really gross. But yeah, Miss Malave, I agree. There was a thought in my head too of being like, that place must smell like crap. Like, just it's a decaying body, and it's just absolutely disgusting.
Like, come on.
But
food. They didn't even move the food.
That's true. They didn't move the food either.
Rotting food, rotting flesh.
Oh, that was so nasty. But all right, so listen, you know. When you watch this movie, you feel like you need to talk to somebody and you get yourself a therapy session. You sit back and you watch all the gore that's being poured down in someone's eye at the same time. It makes you feel a type of way. It gives you the heebie-jeebies, puts all that nice, good old feeling inside your intestines, as if maybe a tapeworm was, for some reason, wrapped around your intestines. And at that moment, somebody takes your hand and they slowly walk you on down to the creep corner.
The corner. You never leave. You never see me. Creep corner.
All right, guys, as many creepy things as there is, let me paint you a picture. Sit down and imagine you've watched your sister damn near mutilate herself to death. You've watched her get eyelashes sewn to her eyes, her nose broken in two just to be reconstructed with a very uncomfortable metal cast. You've watched her cut off her toes and eat something very suspicious, some sort of egg. You've watched her starve herself no matter how much she eats. You've watched her placate this person that you know she just isn't. She isn't acting herself. She's listened to Mother Dearest this entire time. Despite your best efforts to save her, it's just all for nothing. This is your final stand. You beg her to take the antidote. And just as she does, you know exactly what's going to happen. Boiled milk at her feet, hunched over a stool. You watch her vomit up everything that she can. But there's one thing you have to help her with. You see it sitting in the back of her throat, ever so slightly, poking itself out to investigate, inviting you to grab it. Just as you grab it, it's almost as if you're killing your sister. Like, she just can't let it go, but it's your last stand to save her. As you pull and pull and pull and pull some more and pull even more after that, a giant fucking worm comes out of her goddamn mouth. And as it falls to your feet into the boiled milk with a huge splat, and you look down in horror, Elvira and her fucking worm make it to the creep corner. It's the one scene in the movie that sends chills right up your spine where you're going, I can't look away, but damn if that's not creepy. I don't want anything to do with that. You know it's wrong, but god dang, it's just so right to look at.
Oh,
We're going to leave that shit in the creep corner.
Yeah.
Leave
keep that-
it
keep
there.
That shit creepy.
oh my God. I agree. That was
You know,
so creepy.
you know, I had a dinner party that went like that once. But it wasn't her
I don't
mouth,
wanna
it
go
was
to your
her
dinner.
ass. Yeah,
I really don't
and it
wanna
was
go to your
bad.
dinner parties.
Like I'm telling you.
Was
It
it
was
Taco
bad
Bell?
though.
That's
No, it was a little bit more.
I'm pretty sure
Quiznos.
you're gonna
yeah.
teach us about something.
yeah. No
That-
dinner parties at your place.
That is
We're not doing that.
That's just wrong and disgusting. But I agree. That was the creepiest moment of the movie. Like it was just
We could arguably say Elvira herself is the creep because she does so many things that are just like, damn, you are a certified creep.
true.
But that
Certified
moment
creep,
specifically
7
is
days
the
a
one.
week.
Yeah. Elvira sitting in your closet watching you freak.
Oof.
You're
It's
so
just
talented.
I learned from you. It's that one scene that really gets the shiver up your spine that you're like, she's literally a creep over there, but like, this one goes over the line.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough. But a great selection. I think we should just take it, leave it in the corner, because oh man, that was fucking wild. What an amazing scene too. As we all agreed, we could not take our eyes off of it. So yeah, like literally right after, you shove it in the corner, whatever it is, it's creepy. You stick it in the corner. You got some glorious gore. You sat down. You had yourself a therapy session. How should you finish your day? You're ready to just end it all. You're about to go and just take everything and throw it away. But wait, you can't because you haven't got your lesson from the cigarette smoking man.
Mijo, listen close, aquí está la verdad. If your house says get out, don't be living with that. Dancing with demons, pero con ritmo. Eddie drops wisdom with every humor. Lessons from a cigarette smoking man with a puff and a glance. He's got the
Hey kid, let's light up. Now, Salakadula means Mechikabularu. Ladies, if your future depends on you preserving your virginity for marriage with a prince, do not go around boinking stable boys. Wait until you marry that prince, then give that prince your pink eye. Now, I know for a fact that this will be impossible for some of you ladies. The urge to get plowed by a meat stick is too overwhelming. I get it. Now, say the urge shows up, badly, while hanging out with one of your stable boy sweethearts. What are you going to do? Well, the cigarette smoking man has you covered with a solution. Give that well-hung stable boy your brown eye. You get to do the nasty with that sweetie poo of yours while keeping your bargaining chip for the rich jerk who sleeps around with multiple women yet insists you keep chaste. It's also poetic. You're boinking your sweetie poo from where you make poo. If you wear a Winnie Pooh shirt, you have made the poetry of the moment even better. But do not wear a Winnie Pooh costume because then you're a furry. That's ew. Plus, something might get stuck in a hole because irony. Thankfully, you can also use honey to remove whatever gets stuck. One final problem might show up for you. Perhaps that well-hung stable boy opens your brown eye too much. First of all, not a big problem to explain to the prince you're marrying. It's easily justifiable. You say you had to take a super big dump, dropped a turd the size of an iguana. The prince will believe you. After all, out there, he knows that there are well-hung men, but he would never expect you to take them up your pooper. Secondly, in all honesty, there really aren't that many men that massively equipped. Contrary to the porn you watch, most guys fall under 5 to 6 inches. What about the porn that I watch? Those guys are huge. Yeah, well, they also use penis pumps. Others have surgery. It's like this movie's theme. It's all superficial and fake, like Dane Cook's talent. Oh, if you base your sex life on porn, you're not going to have a good sex life. It's like basing your romantic life on romantic movies. It's just not going to work. Best thing for you is to avoid pornographic and romantic movies and get some real world experience. This lesson only works for those movies. This lesson does not apply to films or shows like Psycho, 1 Hour Photo, Bambi, The Brave Little Toaster, and Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Remember, kids, if you place unrealistic expectations on your partner, then they have a right to place unrealistic expectations on you. If you want your woman to be voluptuous and sexy all the time, she can demand you be well hung and fit all the time. Sounds impossible? Well, so is living up to your superficial fantasy, you insecure jerk. Also, demanding body perfection while being obscenely out of shape is not only an oxymoron, it's a douchebag move. Also, if you're unclear about your expectations, your partner will not know how to please you. If you ever say they should know, well, you're probably entering a red flag territory, and you are the mayor of that red flag zone. It's better to focus on loving people for who they are and what they bring to the table. Yes, there's room for improvement on both sides in a relationship, but unclear or unrealistic expectations are unmet expectations. Because remember, the thingamabob that does the job is bibbidi bobbidi boo. Here's looking at you, kid.
Very nice.
Amen.
good.
Amen.
Well
Very
said.
good. That was
Very well said.
Very good. I like that one. That was very good. A lot of lot of anal references there.
We like to call
rightfully
those-
So. There was a
we
lot
like-
of ass.
There
Yeah, we
was.
like to call those innuendos.
Very nice.
Oh, yeah.
that was great. Thank
Oh,
you, cigarette smoking man. That was a lesson that everyone listening should take in and they should understand.
Most definitely. Don't forget to give your loved one a handy or a blowy every once in a while as well.
Grade
I
A blowy.
fucking agree. You gotta do it sometimes. Make them feel special. Well, listen, the bell is about to sound. But before this bell sounds, we need to find. Well, no, we don't need to find. We need to hear the final thoughts. So let's go around the table. I want you to tell me: would you give it a second round? The Ugly Stepsister, would you give it a second round? And your final thoughts to this film. What did you think? Let's start with Florida's favorite creep, Sabrina. Go for it.
In all honesty, no, I would not give this a second round. I feel like I got everything I needed to out of the first round. That was enough for me. It's hard to reinvent the wheel, but they did it well enough that I could say I'm glad that I watched it the first time. And thank you to Vertigo Releasing for giving us that opportunity. Like, hands down, we love you. That's fantastic. No second round, but that whole movie just made me uncomfortable and made me very happy to be me, but not so happy to live in this world because, yeah, kind of the same thing. Unrealistic beauty standards to the fullest. But you know what? It's fine. We're all good. And lots of creepy moments. So I'm okay with that.
Oh, it's
Stay
right up your
creepy,
alley.
everyone.
That's
Yeah.
right up your alley.
Thanks, Sabrina.
That worked
You're
out.
welcome.
That worked out very well.
And I love how you just signed out too. That was awesome. I think we should just do that.
Yeah, you can go for it.
It's
You
cute.
guys can
I love
sign
it.
out afterwards if you want to. Say your line one more time, Sabrina. I cut you off when you were saying it. Say it one more time.
Oh, as always, stay creepy.
And you stay creepy too. As that's what the listeners are saying. They're listening. They're like, and you stay creepy as well.
Mhm.
Very nice. An interesting take too. I actually thought a little differently. So that's really nice. Let's go to Big Money. Let's go to the Grand Wizard of Horror.
So I really liked this movie. I thought this movie was magnificent. It's a type of reimagining of modern storytellers that we need. We need more of this and less Wicked. I hated Wicked. I hated the novel. I hated the Broadway show. I hated the movie. I think this is much better. I think this falls in line more with what Sam Raimi did with Oz, the Great and Powerful. It's a smart reimagining that focuses in on trying to mix with the original story and blend it seamlessly in. So I'm giving this a second round all around. This is a smart movie. I really enjoyed it. And it's if you go in looking for a super body horror film, I don't think it's going to work. But if you're looking for just a well-rounded, thoughtful movie that has some multiple elements to it, I think it'll work. So this is Big Money Eddie, Grand Wizard of Horror, the cigarette smoking man himself. Stay smoky, everybody.
All right, thank you, Big Money. Very
Hmm.
that was an interesting one too.
That was interesting.
That
takes.
was
Those were
interesting.
hot takes.
Very interesting
Yeah,
take.
very
Didn't
hot takes.
know about the
So
whole.
many questions.
Yeah, we got some questions on Wicked and whatnot. But hey, that's that's your opinion,
That's
and
the
that's
conversation
and you
for
have a
next time.
good background to it. You've explained it to me many times of how you feel with the novel and the Broadway show. I didn't know that you felt that way about the movie, so that's very interesting. But yes, thank you. Big Money, Grand Wizard of Horror of the cigarette smoking man. But I gotta take it all the way because this motherfucker told me right off the bat he did not like this movie. I gotta know, Mr. Malave. Let's hear it.
All right, so I mean, I put this movie on, right, and besides the gore that I mentioned in our segments and everything else like that was okay, and the payoff I felt wasn't enough for everything I had to endure with this movie. I am very much on Sabrina's side, and I will not give it a second round. Halfway through, I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, I honestly didn't really like. I didn't really like it as much as I wanted to. You know what I mean? I was like, okay, we get the Ugly Stepsister sides of the story. Maybe let's see some more shit that she's just kind of like gonna jump off the deep end. I know we can't really change the story, right? But like, I wanted just a little bit more. I wanted just that little bit more blood. I wanted just, that little bit more of contortionist, right? Like everything else was leading into that. It was almost like the softcore porn that we saw in the movie, how it kept tickling you and getting you aroused, and then it just kind of just left you there to get blue balls at the end of the movie. Like, and that's what I felt about this movie, right? I felt like it was just kept bringing me up there, like, oh, she's gonna snap right now, and then just kind of like fall flat. And then like, listen, I get it, right? The movie like itself, that we know the ending and what have you, but like we don't know her ending, and then she just leaves, and then you're like, all right, well, we just saw her mom suck dick, and then her leave with her sister on a fucking like a horse. All right, what next? Like, I didn't want more, and I was happy it was over. But like, I also was just like, what the fuck, man? What did I just watch? You know what I mean? Like, I get all the themes. I get how, the insecurities, the sociopath, and like the psychoticness and psychosis and all the mental breakdowns that this girl was enduring with all the environment that she was exposed to. But at the end of the day, that payoff just fell flat for me. And even a whole tapeworm full of like pulling out of her throat didn't save this movie from me giving it a second round. Listen, I saw the movie. I'm on the other side of it now. I talked about it. I exorcised demons. It was just okay for me, dog. It wasn't really all that. You know what I mean? And you know what? Hey, listen, I didn't read the stories and everything like Big Money and everything else like that. But even if I didn't, and I saw this movie, it didn't make me want to read the stories. So I don't know if this movie did exactly what it was supposed to do. Right. And that's pretty much it. So I will not give it a second round. I'm not going to watch it again. But you know what? I saw it and we talked about it. And it was a damn good episode because we talked about a lot of fucking penises and up close asses and shit like that. And that was kind of weird. But the movie was kind of weird. But that's it. Mr. Malave out.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Malave. I had a feeling that's how you felt about it because you gave me a little hint and you broke it down really well there too. And I completely understand. I understand where you're coming from. I understand where everybody's coming from. So for me, I wouldn't give it a second round. I'm going to tell you why. Okay. When we first were working with Strike Media and Vertigo Releasing and we got Late Night with the Devil. Okay. That was a movie. Oh, it was so good. I was so invested in it.
It's still one of my new favorites.
I agree.
For
I
real.
put it on a list. I would put it on a list. It was that great. Everything about that movie just fit really well. Now, here's the thing. I had fun watching this movie. I'm not going to say I didn't because I did. I enjoyed it. But if you ask me, that's why the whole concept for listeners that don't understand what it means to give it a second round is the whole concept of giving it a rewatch, of telling people you should watch this movie. listen, should you watch this movie? If you're into it like that, if you've heard about it and you want to, like, hey, people are talking about it, should I watch this? Yes, absolutely. You should definitely take a look at it. The thing is, I don't feel this is a rewatchable kind of movie. I don't feel this is a movie I need to purchase, and I believe everybody should go to the theater. Put the money towards it because it does deserve that. It deserves to be spoken about. It deserves to be placed there. But it's not Late Night with the Devil. It's not that movie that's going to shock the fucking year, okay? And that's what was important because Late Night with the Devil was ranked on fucking Rotten Tomatoes of the best horror movie of 2024. This movie, I don't even think cracks the top 10 when it comes down to it. So was it an enjoyable film? Yes, I had a very good time with it. Not reading the story, but knowing pretty much the basis to it. Great acting in it. Cinematography was fine. Nothing too fancy, but it was good enough for what it was. And I feel like kind of, Matt, kind of how you said it. Mm-hmm. I got the story. It's like a full course meal. You know what I'm saying? You get the story. You get the good acting. You get a little gore in there. You get a little, that's a little nasty. And then I'm done. And I finished it. I don't need to have that meal again. I've had it. It's good. I can move on with my life. And I feel that's what this movie is. It's not a bad movie. It is a definitely a good movie to see. But would I want to watch it again? Unfortunately, no. I would not turn this movie on again. And I honestly don't ever see myself talking. I may talk about it once in a blue, but it ain't going to be something that I'm going to be like, yo, Late Night with the Devil. I went to work the very next day and said, when this movie comes out, you need to see it. I don't see myself doing that in the near future. If someone asked me, did I have seen it? Yes, I have. Do you think I should watch it? Maybe if you like that shit. If you want it, do it. But I'm not going to make you and tell you you have to see it. So because of that, I agree. I am not giving it a second round. And my name is Tommy James, a.k.a. Mr. Oh So Smooth, a.k.a. The Smooth Effect himself. I am the movie guy, baby. This is Night School Horror. Shout out to Strike Media. Thank you guys so much for this, again, great opportunity to get a screener of a movie that's coming out this week, April 18th in U.S. cinemas, April 25th in the UK. This is coming out. It will be on Shudder. It's which I don't even, they didn't even mention actually when it's going to be on Shudder, but at least we know it's coming to the cinemas because Late Night with the Devil did not go to cinemas. So this movie is being spoken about. People are ready to see it. So if you want to see it, go out there, go watch this movie. But if you're like us, you might just say it's okay. Thank you guys so much. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and enroll with Night School Horror. This was a great time. Again, shout out to Strike Media. You guys are fucking great.
Right?
And we will see you next week. We might talk a little bit about some monkeys.